What's up, boys?
It's the smooth sounds of outlaw funk.
Nick with that straight up burp to open up the show. Hey, Homer!
I hope that'll clean off when it dries.
Y'all take that out of post and editing there, boys. Casey, take that burp.
Yeah, Casey,
In
we don't want to
post.
look stupid.
It's in post. That stupid as you look, Casey.
When you're going through making us look more skinny and ripped.
Yeah, can you do that, Casey? Casey's one of our awesome guys over at Verb. Not one of our guys, one of the Verb guys that does amazing work and somehow has the time to fit our dumps. Like, they make money over Verb. This is a lost leader. So we're like the sexy
The
Corvette.
lost leader.
We're the Corvette of this whole
It's
deal.
parked out by the road.
Well, I'm saying for like
Gaining the
Chevrolet.
attention.
Chevrolet don't make no money on a Corvette.
Yeah.
It's sexy as hell. It's awesome. They lose money on all of them. Nick, you know what a lost leader is, I'm
Yes.
sure. So
These days, the
That's what we
Corvette's
are.
underpriced.
yeah, now
The
they
new
are. They're
Corvette's
supercar.
bad to the bone,
Yes.
and it's cheap for what it is, right?
Yep.
Like us.
Yeah.
We are
Maybe
cheap.
we are performance vehicles underneath this extra 200 to 300 pounds.
Anyway, we don't make any money. Casey actually edits our videos via Verb. He's out in San Francisco, I think.
And he's
so,
motivated by being talked down to.
Yes, he wants to be rated
told what a piece of
of crap he is. So you suck, Casey.
I
How
don't
about
even
that?
know him, dude.
Chase Stallo, you suck. Wes Williams, you suck. All you guys suck. But I did get to work with those guys at Mesquite. It was really fun. But
Yeah, and we're cool in person, but
But now,
I'll
man, screw them.
talk
dude.
smack
Screw
on
them,
this
dude.
microphone.
Screw them. So tonight, Bob freaking Hanna.
Hurricane.
That's a good show.
Did you notice the winds kicked up outside?
As soon as I said it, I seen them pines
Them
start
pines
to blowing.
started
son.
blowing.
Nearly blew me off the road all the way over here.
All the way
Seminole
here.
wind, man.
I mean, John brought out his Hurricane Edition
Signed.
One Industries helmet, and
Yep.
this dude right here,
Yeah.
that dude right there. Go over that. Just the lightning bolts are
well,
just.
first of all, talk
I
about how
have these.
heavy that thing is.
This thing weighs 19 pounds. If you crash, and there's about that much padding in here, they
Yeah.
did not give a shit about your head back
No.
then.
Your head would just whiplash off your neck. Like,
I mean, there is.
You
yeah,
just roll
your
down the
head
track
would start rolling, right?
with your head in it.
Tell me back in the day, how many of these did you draw on your folders and like this dude
All
right
of
here?
them.
All
It
of them.
looked
That
just
Vurbmoto
like
3,
that.
That's the better. And that, I don't know why I love that metal shit in there. I thought that looked cool than this rubber stuff.
What do we got signed? Oh, that's Terry. So Bevo signed this.
Yeah.
And Keith McCarty.
DG on the front. Get out
So
of here.
I know,
and then
it's so cool.
Bevo and Keith McCarty were tight with Hannah.
Sure.
And then Hannah signed this, and when he picked it up, he goes, "Oh, this is a real one."
Not one of the newer ones.
And then he signed it. And for some reason, I got John Gregory's signature next to
JT. Of course, that makes
Racing.
sense.
So,
The lightning bolts, dude.
oh yeah, man, HRP.
I like the San Diego Chargers. My first grade.
It's a good look.
My
Wasn't it?
first grade book bag was the San Diego Chargers book bag. I didn't know who the hell they were. I saw the lightning bolts. I was like, oh, that's Bob Hanna. So I thought it was a lightning bolt Bob Hanna book bag. I thought I was the coolest dude ever.
San Diego Hurricanes.
Yes.
The San Diego Hurricanes.
So Bob's on. He actually answered my phone call and he returned the phone call and just he's surly as hell. We talked for 40 minutes and he was like, I had to say, man, I got to go save this stuff.
He said, "You know, we're not recording this part, right?"
Dude, it don't matter. Bob's always on. It doesn't. He's not doing it for.
I'm just amazed he picked up for you. I mean, not that you don't have street cred,
No, I don't with him.
but he seems like he ain't picking up for anybody unless he needs to do business with that person.
Yes.
That's what you would think.
Yeah,
That's
man.
what. Yeah, he's busy. Like he's buying land. He's selling
Where's
large
he
tracts
live
of
now?
home. Idaho.
Idaho?
Yeah,
Sun
he's,
Valley, I think.
they're buying like he's talking about 50 and 100 home subdivisions. That's kind of big movers and shakes. He's got a partner, but
And everybody from California is moving
Yes,
to Idaho.
that's what he said.
When I was there to do the adventure ride 2 years ago, California tags everywhere. And
Everywhere.
I get it. It's the next state over.
well,
I
they're
mean,
like, stay out of here. He'll tell you. And Nick and we already kind of talked about this. Bob he's a little opinionated.
oh, he had.
He's a little
bitch.
opinionated. He might say some stuff. So if you've got a soft outer skin, you might want to tune this one
Or
out.
if you have opinions, this isn't the time to say them.
Yeah,
right?
we're not going to get
Bob
political,
talk.
but Bob may do it. He may go, he'll go, well, if this current administration, that's kind of the stuff
There's
he'll.
no one less political than we are.
Correct.
And we intentionally keep that out of.
Yeah, there's
absolutely.
no reason for it.
Listen,
There's enough dumb shows for you to
I
watch.
like we're all pretty apolitical, so it's not a problem for us. It drives me crazy. Like I like keeping we're not going to keep it.
I
out
like
of
keeping
Bob's mouth.
politics out of this, but let me tell you.
But
Bob, what do you think about?
I like keeping it out of motocross. I hate seeing
Yeah,
on
there's no
like a damn. They'll be like, so-and-so crashed at the race. Well, goddamn, this administration. You know what I mean? Like
that's the dumbest shit.
Yeah, that's the dumbest shit. Like, I hate reading.
That's the best argument I've ever heard for why he crashed right there, man. It has to be.
It's the damn supplements they put in that damn fuel, and damn Biden and his crew trying to run these fuel out of town.
Faulkner went down. Yeah, this is that, and the damn Democrat. You know, like, I don't want politics mixed with my motocross.
Yeah, that's the last place we need it.
No.
Yeah.
Hell, man.
I want to laugh.
Although
smile,
Bob's going to mix it with every.
Well, he got on stage at the International Motocross Museum fundraiser, took off the outer shirt he had on,
Hell yeah, he's
and
ready to
had
go to
on
work.
this insanely offensive, like, political shirt or whatever, and it was like,
But does that
F
surprise
all
you?
y'all, whatever.
No,
I mean, it was-
but that's fine. And we are all from that era. It's not like we're going to say anything cross to Bob Hanna. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
you
Like,
won't win.
No,
you
well,
could try.
I don't want to, but I'm just going to let him talk whatever he wants to talk because he's Bob freaking Hanna.
We do have a
is.
lot of listeners. Like I put a post up on Instagram. Follow us on Winners Take Y'all on Instagram and on Twitter. I think it's Winners Take Y'all somewhere out there too. Just for the interaction. It's not because I need followers. I could give a shit about that. But
we got questions from.
we got a ton of questions
every
on
era
Facebook. Yeah, like
known to man for Bob Hanna.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to asking a few of those questions, and thanks for the people that even took the time to even ask those questions, and we'll get to some of that. But
My sixth grade teacher heard about it and sent me a question.
Great, can't wait to get that question in there. And you guys were
Sixth
talking.
grade teacher.
John was not happy with last week's show, so you want to get into
Well,
that? Like
I was happy with the show, but
Josh Grant's awesome, but I thought since I didn't have a drop of liquor at all, nothing.
the show was early for Josh Grant, number one. So
Yes.
me and Nick didn't even think about like, hey man, let's have a sip of Fireball.
Fireball.
And Kevin didn't bring any beer, and when he got done, Kevin's like, "That's the best show we ever did, right there."
I thought it was clean. Is maybe
It
I
was
thought,
clean.
I thought the questions for Josh were good, and I thought some of y'all's stories were good, but
now
apparently
here's the-
not. So
here's
you
the-
guys,
here's the debate we're having.
You guys can
and it's
answer
gonna be
this.
up to you guys. Alcohol?
should we get shit drunk
or no alcohol? Like,
Yes.
we're having some.
Fireball.
or
debate
no
on-
Fireball? Fun or no fun is basically what John said.
I'm okay with it not.
Yeah, I know.
The
I'm
show
just-
was fine. I didn't think we got silly as we needed to. We had a few things funny.
Yeah, but whenever my brother said he about drove off the road when we were talking about 3 points of contact making love on a waterbed. Try
Yeah,
doing that with
dude.
3 arms.
And when your training facility is PT Solutions. Oh, Kevin, he's hunkered down right now, man.
He's getting it
He's
in.
doing boot camp, man.
Yes, he's getting lifting those. I'm in the purple weights now, 2 pounds.
2-pound bands. He's got the
Pow.
bands.
Bow,
Yeah, so
bow,
we got
bow.
we got some stuff to work on. We're gonna work on, I guess, having a little bit of Fireball.
Just a sip, man.
Just a touch,
Not
skosh.
a whole lot.
Yeah, we don't
Well,
want your
give me a
kids.
sip then.
Yeah,
Okay, I
straight
mean,
out
I
of
feel
there.
like you need
Peer
some.
pressure me.
This
You
is like
guys-
COVID, man. Let's do it. Right at
There you go,
You
right
guys
there.
Day in the
sipping
dirt.
it up,
Day in
yeah.
the dirt 2020, man.
That's
The
right.
dumbest place like this. We were driving down so scared. I know we've talked about this before, but like, man, everything's closing down. You don't at that time you didn't really know this shit might kill us all.
The
And-
world had never closed down in your
No.
lifetime, though.
No, you're exactly right. And then we get down there, and then they have a full-fledged bar that they said get rid of all these drinks, and we're like, well, we can help you with that. So everybody had
Yes.
no glasses, no cups. The epicenter of
That's
COVID,
no
and
lie.
we're
There's no
chugging,
lie.
chugging vodka, whatever.
Bottles passed.
just passed around to everybody. Didn't matter.
The weekend that COVID hit,
Yes,
we were in a crowd of 100.
2,000.
I mean,
Well, I mean, there's 2,000 or 3,000 people a day in the
people,
dirt.
But
Travis
in our-
Pastrana's playing beer pong, and there's
in
hundreds
our
of people.
general vicinity, there's
Hundreds.
of people, and they were just passing bottles of liquor, and everybody was just
Like,
drinking after
People
one
you
another.
don't really know, right?
I don't.
no,
hell no, I
Pretty
don't know.
amazing.
No, and everybody drank.
I
after-
probably wouldn't do that
Now,
before or now.
right? But it was like the dead center of COVID, which is
Which you probably wouldn't do it right this second if you were about another half bottle of Fireball. In.
then you would
Then
do
you
it.
would.
Then you'd be like, let's go.
If I ever drink a half bottle of Fireball,
Oh, God.
we'll have
Anyway,
some problems.
'cause
I don't ever drink
We
a
were
lot.
far enough in where we go, man. I don't know that dude, but I love you, man.
Man, you should move in with me, man.
You like motocross and so do I. We got to be
got
safe.
to.
We're kindred
We're like-
souls.
Yes.
We're like brothers.
There's a lot
Yeah.
to that, though.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
are kind of like that dude
Yeah.
because you race
Y'all getting down
motocross.
with this music?
But
Like,
then-
it's super smooth.
Also,
It's
the
beyond
same
smooth.
night, some dude tried to steal one of Kevin's Red Bull tables. It actually wasn't Kevin's Red Bull. It was a Red Bull table they had set up. This guy was trying to put it in the back of an S10 Blazer.
Shoot,
Yeah, you
I
see
mean,
it
way I
walking
look
out like
at
an
it-
ant. Like you're like, bro, there's a crowd of people. And you see a Red Bull table just walking like this. Like, come on, man. They hooked all this up.
That's terrible.
What a dick. Like I have a problem with anybody
It
stealing.
would be cool to have just not in that fashion.
Maybe
They'll
you ask
probably
for it.
sell
They,
you one.
they throw them away on occasions
Yeah,
when they
you
get
could
to a
buy
certain.
one or get
you can
one.
find them on eBay, but this cat was like, "I'm out. I got 3 tough
Well,
locks."
that's
and
the Kawasaki table over here, but I bought it. I
And
mean,
we
it
had
came.
to
It
stop
was
him. Or Kevin,
scratched up.
Kevin was like, "Hey man, what the hell are you doing?"
I had my drink on that, dickhead. Like,
Yeah. Why is my drink going through the crowd? It's
And then
7
Robbie,
feet.
the guy that painted my DG pipe and put the
Not that we-
spoke skins on half the wheel that caused Kevin
That
to
caused
crash.
Kevin's
cost me
collarbone.
4 years later.
He was like, "Man, I'll fuck that dude up." He gets that
Robbie,
table.
calm down, man. Calm down.
One thing we didn't talk about that Robbie, Robbie made the bike pull to the right. Kevin
Yep.
went left. That scar is 9 inches long.
It's big, man. Like I've seen some other
Dude.
dudes. I'm like, I'll show my scar off. This is one of the only things that's bigger than anybody else that I got. Like, that's the only thing. I'll whip this thing out in a heartbeat.
I'll whip this.
I'll be at a party. I'll break
throw
it
it on
out.
the table,
Look at that,
son.
man. That's a good one. Like it goes
Dude,
right.
it keeps going.
I
goes
don't
to
think it's
there.
gonna-
Like, why?
It's not going to appeal to your wife in the same
No,
form.
it's not hot at all.
But if to another woman, that would be hot.
When you were in a bar fight,
It's
I
at-
beat
at
some
some
dude's
point,
ass
yeah.
for looking at
Oh,
my old lady.
yeah.
It's like
Right.
this scar I got on the side of my head right
Yeah,
here.
I see it.
Yeah, that's from a knife fight.
See?
Did you bring a knife to a gunfight or what?
No.
nothing?
Thankfully.
Nothing
Had a
to a
guy
knife fight?
swing a knife at me, and I ducked this way, and he fucking got the side of my head.
Dude, what
But-
would he have gotten if you didn't move?
My eyeballs.
That's what I'm thinking, right? It's too
Whoa,
close to your eye.
correct.
Think
So-
about all those times, man.
That's
Kevin's
a
same way.
legit shot.
Kevin was almost decapitated because of spoke skins.
Yeah,
That's why we don't list him as a sponsor.
correct.
That's right. Well, let's go ahead and run down the sponsors. John, you're always our sponsor guy.
Well,
Mark, you got
listen, if you've got a mini bike and you're thinking, how do I get some performance out of this little beast? 110s, go to fasterminis.com.
Brother Craig.
I mean, come on. If you got a,
I got the coolest stuff.
KLX, TTR, whatever, CRF, all that. Fast House is a legit. I mean, Kevin's always repping Fast House.
I've been repping Fast House. I didn't. I guess from the weekend, all my stuff was.
I noticed all your knees are worn out a lot.
Oh man,
You're too
my
tall.
Fast House clothes.
Seems like everybody else's knees would be wore out. Helmet skins, the original.
I got one in my
and
bag
still
right
the
now.
best.
Got one right now.
Kevin just traveling around town. He's
swear
like,
to God, I swear on my mother's grave. It's
I
in my
know
bag.
you have
I've seen
it.
it. You've seen it. I should say. I
I've
brought it
worn
out
it.
on the show.
I've worn it without a helmet.
he wore it. He looked like
It's not a condom. He's
end
like,
of a
"Oh,
condom.
Yes.
It looked like the loose little
Yeah.
floppy end.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Reservoir tip.
Leather skins, rhino skins, pork skins,
Shirts
Lamb
versus skins.
skintimate lotion,
Yes.
pig skin, lamb
Gator
skin.
skins.
Is that a
That's it.
thing? Is that
Yeah,
one of
Should
them?
be.
Yeah, it's not. It's
Man, it's just amazing the help we're getting.
It is. Couldn't
You
do it
know,
without those guys.
it's really
And
hard.
Cardo. Isn't it Cardo or Cardo?
Cardo.
Cardo. Yes.
No, it's Cardo.
Swear to God, we're gonna get this to work, but we're so close. We're 90% there.
we have
Just getting it all synced up to everybody's phones individually and then
That's the
one
hard
group. So once we do that, you will see some fun stuff. At least I think there'll be fun videos.
No, it will be
of
fun.
you guys riding and talking and the coaching.
I just want you coaching.
I will.
All your
dog
time you
out.
put in at the damn training camp at PT
Yeah.
Solutions
I got a lot to say.
and all those waterbed frames you've warped and
Yep.
Yes.
you don't think about that. Nobody like Alden's. There's a stack of waterbed frames out back that is probably 2 stories high.
Nobody.
And
Hey,
nobody knows about that.
Nope.
But
Nobody's
here,
getting
Kevin has brought this training tip to the public.
the waterbed 3-point stance, baby.
Yeah,
Try
3
that.
points
Try it.
of contact.
Try it.
It's sort of like a DOT. You know, 4 points of contact.
Yes, it's damn hard.
Waterbed's 3.
Go back to last week's show if you're wondering what we're talking about. Hey, and guess what we're coming up on, dude? 1 year. That should be the hot tub show.
We'll do it in the hot
3
tub.
guys.
It's right. It's on the other side of this wall behind me.
1 year of doing shows, April 28th, based on my Instagram. Or
Your
the
scar is gonna
Winners
be
Take
visible.
Y'all. It's going to be visible. Everything's going to be visible.
We ought to color it in with a black Sharpie, make it look gnarly.
Put some old school stitches down the
Yeah.
side like a pirate or
right.
something. But-
1 year. I don't. That's Jared's 1 year. I was a few months. I was
Yeah.
a month later or something.
Thereabouts. Yeah.
I feel like I was June or something.
Maybe we can get Jared to come back for the 1 year. All of us can
He
do it.
needs.
That'd
to.
be cool.
Yeah, it'd be good.
1 year doing this stupid stuff.
1 year.
Stupid idiot.
We're gonna slow dance.
Slow dance.
Nick, I'm asking Nick to slow dance.
I'm gonna,
It's gonna be awkward because he's a lot taller than me, but
Hey, what about this Perry Mountain ride you guys did? Y'all did some riding again, 150 miles or something like that this weekend?
I think 120 or something.
yeah, it was pretty.
210,
60.
220.
I was about 10 miles. I was about a half a gallon short on fuel one day.
So I look back. Nick's not back there. So it was hard enduro. It was a national enduro course.
50 miles?
It was the whole thing was supposed to be 75. But at the what, Nick? 40 mile, 42 mile mark?
Something. I don't know.
All of a sudden, Nick's not behind me anymore.
And we were on the road.
And you rode 2 different bikes. You rode the Beta. You're in
Yeah, the hard enduro side, he's on this Beta. And we're like, dude, that thing will go 80 miles on a tank.
Yeah, we opened it up. We're like, yeah, this thing will go forever. It's at 200. It'll go forever. Nope.
And it's near, the fuel was near the cap.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, don't even top it off.
Good to go.
Like dummies.
And so, like, I'm going down the road, and it was on a road transfer section. And this guy and his wife, luckily, were behind me. And I'm, 2-stroke on the street.
Bowl.
So I coast to a stop. The dude behind me pulls up, and is that thing called an AJP?
AJP. It looks like a rally bike. It's got a downpipe. But we've ridden with this dude before.
Yeah, in Tennessee, just randomly.
He can ride.
He can ride.
It looks like a Paris to Dakar bike.
Yes. And his wife was with him in Tennessee too, and she was on like a Beta 390. And this is how fast it was. It was crazy. He rides that downpipe adventure bike in hard enduro stuff, climbing stuff that you wouldn't believe. I mean, he's really, really good on it. And so, but when we saw him in Tennessee, you could tell he was like the ride leader. He was with a group of like 20 people, and he was obviously in charge, right? So he's
he's setting the pace and
knowing
everything. Which way to go everywhere.
Keeping up with everybody. If somebody couldn't get their bike up the hill, he'd take it.
He's a dude. Yep.
That's the one. Well, man, this cat is so prepared. First off, that AJP bike has a screen on it like an iPad.
It's on the handlebars.
It's giant.
Dude,
where do you get one of these at?
It's Brazilian.
Brazil.
Never heard
the iPad store.
Brazil.
Apple
Chupa meu
store.
pau.
And
that's a bad thing.
So
Brazil.
I've barely coasted to a stop, and he pulls up next to me on the right side.
Bluetooth you gas. Like,
He's
it's
like,
nuts.
"What's happened? You out of gas?" He goes, "What happened?" I said, "I just ran out of gas."
See
He
ya,
looks down my bike
brah.
and he goes, "Yeah, you did." And within 40 seconds, he had a tow strap hooked to his foot peg and my bike. He goes, "You ever been towed before?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Okay, just stay out to my left, keep it tight, and
Keep it right,
and don't get behind.
Stay left.
Don't get behind me going around curves." And I was like,
That's a lot of information, man. Like, what am I supposed to do?
And he took the fuck off and towed me.
Well, it'd be different if he said, "Here's the rules," and we'll go slow.
And we got to finish this at pace.
He freaking pinned it. And
How fast do you think you're going?
I'm not joking at all when I say 35 miles an hour. He told me.
he's like, "You know how to get towed?" No.
All
Okay.
right. Bob.
It was the scariest thing I did all weekend. It's the scariest thing I've done on a dirt bike in quite some time.
Probably. Yes.
Whoa.
How close were you to his rear wheel? Like, was the strap 30 feet or 10 feet?
I was offset, but if I would have got right behind him, I was probably 2 feet.
Oh, my
There's you got to be on it.
No wiggle room.
No.
Yeah, so I was off to.
So you kind of dragged the brakes to keep it
he
tight.
was so Johnny on the spot. You're out of gas, and he didn't even ask me if I wanted a tow.
You're getting this.
He's already like by the time I figure out what's going on, he's strapping this thing. To
He's
my
already
forks.
cash apped you. You owe me $50 for the
Bluetooth,
tow.
the
He
gas
strapped it to, and then like as soon as I said I ran out of gas, his wife goes, "Yeah, that's a problem with those 200s. I've got one at home."
That's why I ride a 390. You dumbass.
Bitch. Like, damn, this one was tough.
Sorry.
Well, I had turned around. It was obviously a one-way trail, but I turned around. I'm like, I'll go find Nick. That's a good way to die on a
go
a
heads
one-way
up.
trail.
Yeah.
Yes.
And dude, like those betas, all of them, like all the enduro bikes can be like some people use them for dual sports. So they've got a horn on them. That thing starts going more, more. And I'm meep. I'm blowing the horn for John. I'm like, hey.
And you just see the dust getting further away.
Everybody's just going away. And I was like,
I was looking back sort of regularly, but when they're there every time for 2 hours, you quit checking.
yeah.
And then I finally checked. And I'm riding backwards, and I'm like, I'm going to get killed right here. So I stop a guy, and I said, "Hey, man, was there a dude back there broke down?" He goes, "Yeah, but he's getting towed." I said, "Okay." So I turn around, and I get to go my speed now because my group has left me now. This dude, so we were riding the...
Nick and his tow guy fly past you doing 70.
No.
Like,
on single track.
I'm back in the trail.
this man, he's awesome, dude.
I'm back in the trail. I'm not out on the road.
What if that's how it went down, though? Like, you learned how to ride that fast because you had to ride that fast.
Because he drug you
Pick my
that
pace
fast.
up. Yeah.
No, so I'm coming through the woods, and it's Perry Mountain. They have the Gobbler Getter Enduro there. It's
It's legit.
whooped out, beat, and they're known for having some sections where the tree width is exactly the same as your handlebars.
Fun.
And we were scraping through no problem most of the time. Well, I come up on this guy who wasn't comfortable with the tree gap, and he just slammed on the brakes. So I drilled this dude and punted him through the freaking field goal, like post, whatever that thing's called at the end of a baseball, football field.
Diamond on the third green.
I'm kidding. I'm joking. But yeah, so the goalpost, I punt this dude through it, and he turns around, his head went backwards and the bike shot him through, and he turns around and looks, and I'm like,
sorry, dude.
I didn't know you were going to stop, man. Like, who stops, But this tree had the just chunks missing at handlebar level where everybody was just ramming the hell out of it.
That's awesome.
It was way skinny. So I make it back to the where we were camping. Nick's already eaten lunch. He's laid out in a chair.
I'm going to eat.
How?
Hey, that's one thing they do at Perry Mountain. They feed you.
Oh, yeah.
We got there Friday night, straight to the pavilion, eat. Saturday
Hamburgers,
morning.
hot dogs.
Awesome.
We're going through the line. I said, the woman asked John, she said, what do you want on your hamburger? John said, a hot dog.
You want a hot dog on your hamburger?
I didn't come up here to walk away. Want
Empty-handed.
more?
You want a hot dog?
I want the
Mac.
No, that's more Nicholas's line. But we were thinking. I mean, she didn't even ask. Hamburger and a hot dog on the plate. But they feed you lunch the next day, dinner the next day, and then Greg Day cooking us breakfast in the mornings.
That's
so
awesome.
we were
Good
covered,
times were
man.
had. You guys had some awesome. I guess bench racing is just epic at night. I'm
It
sure.
is. John and I wound up talking to was it Big Bo's Barbecue?
Yeah.
Big Bo's Barbecue. They had a food truck. They did, and she made. Oh, this was another part. But she made banana pudding like gallons.
I
of
don't
it.
know, a couple of acres. It was like kiddie pool size because there's 300
a turtle
riders.
pool with a slide in
I
there.
swear to you, man.
Slide in there and get you some.
And let me tell you something. I'm a banana pudding, and I told her, well, we're sitting at the table, and I was eating it because I'm a banana pudding
I
snob.
love banana.
But it's
is
got to
that
be
good.
good. It's got to be good. It's got to be like my mom and
Gotta
my
be
wife
right.
makes.
I'm a nanner pudding snob.
Yes, I'm a nanner.
I'm a snob, boy.
I'm a nanner pudding connoisseur. And so I was sitting there and I was eating it. The old lady across from me, I say old lady, I don't know if she's that much older than we are. We're all old. And she said,
Based on when she told me she was born,
she
she's
says,
not much
I
older
think you
than us.
misunderstood. But so
That's when she.
she's like, you like that banana pudding? I said,
Oh, what are we talking about?
I said,
You like it?
You like that nanner
This
pudding?
feels like PT
Listen to
Solutions
it.
all over.
You hear that?
I said,
That
yeah.
nanner
I
pudding.
said, I do, and I'm pretty particular about my banana pudding.
I bet you are.
And
Sugar
she
balls.
goes, yeah. She said,
What about old Fireball over there?
People had tons of questions about sugar balls all
yeah, they
weekend,
did.
dude.
And so she said, well, good, because I made it. And I was like, no kidding.
Yes, ma'am.
So
My God.
I went back, and now we've already eaten. I ate
Yeah, we had a big plate of food
banana pudding, and then I had another bowl of banana pudding.
Nanner
And we're sitting there
because
talking
he's
to
trying to, it's like
Putting
that's
on-
good.
he's
I'll take a
bulking
little
up.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so her husband, who I'm assuming is Big Bo,
That's who
from
she
Big
calls
Bo's
Nanner
Barbecue.
Pudding.
He's a big old surly dude with overalls. He looks like a barbecue
Liberty
guy, right?
overalls, in case you're wondering.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's an overalls.
No
He's a
Carhartts.
barbecue guy through and through. So and I'm sitting there, I'm stuffed, and we're talking to her about riding this and that.
banana pudding there, buddy.
He comes back with a heaping bowl.
It
of
probably
banana
weighed like
pudding.
2.5
Eat
pounds.
it,
The
boy.
bowl was like 2.5 pounds
He's
of
like,
banana pudding.
I saw that you liked that.
There's
I got you
more.
one with plenty of Niller wafers in it, and I had to choke this next
You did it.
Yes.
Nick's like, he wasn't gonna be rude, man.
He's turned that bowl of pudding up.
I couldn't
Yeah.
not do
It
it.
fell on his face.
I had 3 bowls of banana, and I'm not talking like they're the styrofoam like cereal bowl kind
Yeah, it
of.
wasn't like a joke.
You know
It was-
John Candy when he's on vacation, he's like
Yeah,
riding the roller coaster. He's like,
Yes, that was Nick. He was
Yes.
having a hard time
I
getting
had
back
choked
to the
that banana
camper.
pudding down there, and I was like, "Thanks, Bo." Man, I
Yeah,
do
Bo,
love-
that's what I was looking
I
for.
do love me some banana pudding.
Couple hundred more pounds of banana pudding. if
So
I
tell
could.
me about the dude that comes over and says, I want to be on the show. So he figured out a way to get on the
So
show.
Dave, I believe his last name is Rensel, and Dave actually lives close to us.
Right.
Met him last year at the Tower Run. The weekend weather was flawless last year, except for one gust of wind, which tore my awning off. And I never used the awning on my camper. So Dave helped us remove the awning from the camper so I could get home. Well, we parked right next to him this year, and he's like, "Hey, man," and he's all down. He's taking pictures of the back of the camper. We got a big Winners Take Y'all logo back there, and Dave's like our buddy, man. And so we let it,
Dave.
willingly.
Good kisser. Good
yeah.
kiss. I mean, you know.
Dave, sexy, you know. I saw his pajama pants.
I would.
Okay.
But
This is where Nick draws the line.
Like that
Don't
night
be
you
talking
said-
about the man's
He
pajama.
wanted to know about how to get on the show. And
well, he
he had a big ass dog with him or something.
yeah, he
A
came
freaking attack dog that was barely held at bay.
Yes, that dog. No joke. Like I
One
was
of those
joking
little
about
stretchy
It
that.
ones.
hated Greg Day.
But that dog was watching Greg Day, son. It was
They sense evil.
it was a
Yeah,
German
they do.
Shepherd, and it was a big German Shepherd, and every German Shepherd bites. Anybody says they got a German Shepherd, don't
Well,
bite.
when they're staring you in the eyeballs and they're wanting to know which way Greg Day's eyeballs are
him.
moving, it's like, okay, we're probably going to bleed out tonight. As soon
Something's
as,
happening.
yeah, he said
what's happening, Amanda? Would you like to join in? You want to tell a story from Perry Mountain?
gourmet. Those are gourmet tacos.
They are gourmet. All right,
lovely.
thank you. You
So
didn't
awesome.
even make the show. You didn't.
She was so close.
This guy Dave
could've
was
been a-
like,
Celebrity.
his friend is a big fan of the show. He never told us his
Yeah, he
name.
never knew the friend, but Dave was sending pictures of me and Nick, the camper, and quotes and stuff, sending quotes to the
And so
guy.
he's like, yeah, I just want to do something, get on the show. And I said, well, if you get that dog to attack John,
Yeah, I don't want to bleed out. Sure. Why me? Why can't he attack Greg?
Hell yeah, it's worth
He
it.
wanted me to be walking and that
sit-
dog just tearing
wide
out
ass
after
open.
me.
bad boys. Go on.
And
Turn
I
him
just
loose.
hit the ground, and boom, I'm hurt.
Yes, I want to see that.
Man, that dog was. It was one of, when people have a German Shepherd that just sits there and doesn't just.
No, those are. I'd
It
rather him
didn't
bark.
do anything.
Hey,
Thinking every way to kill you.
he
He lets
could
me
say
off
the-
this thing. I will kill you so
He
fast.
just say the word,
I will
like
kill you. And he's
Knowing
trained.
he had a
and he's
set
trained in
word.
German.
Cool.
Oh
Yeah,
my
like-
god. Yaum.
Those drizzle flippins.
yeah,
Those drizzle flippins. You're like, oh God, he's gonna eat my leg off.
99 red balloons and you get eaten up.
That's it.
Red balloons.
Love balloons.
Yeah. So he never attacked me. He wanted to kill Greg the whole time.
He did bark at Greg.
So, he did. I heard that.
Yeah, like Greg walked
Greg
the trailer.
had been there though, right? And the
Yeah.
dog finally just didn't realize Greg had moved.
Yeah.
Greg had slightly moved positions from where the dog thought he was, and he couldn't stop.
Screw that, man.
He couldn't stop.
I hate every dog like that except mine.
Hey, listen,
It
man.
freak me out. I love dogs though.
So we got to let Dave in. I mean, he'll have his dog kill us, right? So Nick's like, all right, we'll be cool with Dave. We'll let him sit by our campfire. We'll let him make requests on the music. We did not do karaoke, but we jammed a nice mix of tunes that the
Okay. Yeah, I think
age-
karaoke, we got to all be
We-
together
listen,
for that. You can't just roll
Well,
that out.
we could have done the karaoke, but we didn't want to hurt your feelings.
That would definitely hurt my feelings.
Yeah, we're not doing that to you.
Like
suck.
if we would have texted you at like 2 a.m.
Hey, brother, we're doing it. I'm like,
Check it out.
I'm on
Kev.
the way, you sons of bitches. I'm coming up there. I ain't even riding. I'll come up for karaoke.
Just come up for camper karaoke.
That's right.
So Dave's making requests, and we're like, hey man, Dave's in. We're playing his tunes, and
He made
so I
it.
played a few songs he liked, and everything was cool. And we go to bed, and the next morning, Greg Day's cooking us bacon and eggs and hash browns, and everything's cool. And Nick's sitting outside, and I'm guessing Dave got up a little early,
He's feeling it.
and he's
feeling
going to go ride, and he wanted to be like the first one on the trail or something. So he comes idling down between our campers on this KTM 300, and he's like, oh, hey, you guys eating breakfast? You're not going riding yet?
Eat this shit.
And Nick's like, yeah, we're going riding soon. Or somebody says, yeah, we'll be out there soon. And he goes, well, here's some more breakfast for you, bitches. And he holds that cold KTM wide open, aiming basically at Nick. And it smokes
Black
him
soot.
out so bad, you couldn't even see him anymore. And I'm in the camper, so I'm running to shut the
Loving
doors
it.
because he's about to dust the whole camper out. And he rides off, and I
Suck it.
crack the door. I'm like, Dave's out. Dave is not
are
coming
not
to
in
the
anymore,
show.
damn it.
Sorry about your luck, Dave.
My toast had like 2-stroke spooge on it.
It was 927, so he didn't mind eating it, but it was like he thought twice,
By God, that's funny.
But that
as
was the
crap.
funniest shit.
That's
I looked
funny
out
as
that window and I'm like, these dude, you can't even tell they're there. It was so much smoke. Oh,
that's
rich
great.
KTM.
That was pretty good on Dave. That was a good
I
one.
know you weren't happy right when it happened though.
Yeah, that
It's
was
early and
Yes,
you're
it's
like,
8 o'clock in the
I'd eat
morning.
my
This
bacon
dude's
and
holding it
egg.
wide open in your face.
Well, the first morning, we woke up at 6:15. Nobody else was up, or 6 o'clock, whatever. It was just getting daylight, and we're in wherever, some Greenbow, Alabama, And
Greenbow, Alabama.
Maplesville.
I can't
But I like Greenbow. That's
Yeah, I'm
solid.
from Greenbow, Alabama.
So we wake up and I said, John, I think it's time everybody woke up. And he's like, yeah.
If I'm up, everybody's up.
Sweet Home Alabama ought to do it.
Hell yeah. You fired that
6
bitch up?
Yeah. People loved it, man. They were down with it.
And the funny thing is, we did it thinking it would like piss people off.
You see the horns coming out of all the...
Loved it. They were like...
Every morning.
Turn it up.
From here going forward.
Yes.
We love the governor.
Yep.
He's true.
Like it was like Coal Miner's Daughter at Loretta's.
That's right.
Yeah, nobody hates it.
You've started something now. You've started something. Camper karaoke is a thing, and I would highly suggest you guys, Vintage Motorcycle Days, that's where we should break it back out again. We're gonna. I mean, there's no doubt.
You can't not.
Yes.
It'll be off the charts this time.
It'll be good. If we get that blow up nightclub.
Hey, we should get Dave to put his German Shepherd in there and not have
use it
any
for
people.
security.
Just
you.
a camera.
Hey man, we're in here. Like, come on
Just
in.
a camera. Go
We'll
on in.
bait
They're
people
in
in.
there.
Yeah, we're in here. Just play music in there to have cameras watching this dog
Filming
eating
the
shit out of
dog.
They're staring at him.
The dog's just in there.
He's in the. He's got like one light on him.
Don't feed him. Don't feed him for a couple of days and just be like, man, put him in there. He's
Who's
ready
the
for
biggest dick that's been just giving us problems all day? You're the one, brother.
Yeah, you're first, man.
First one in the club.
You're on VIP. You get to go in first.
Come on under the felt, brother. The velvet, I mean.
We need some velvet ropes, don't we?
Yeah, we're gonna have to have velvet.
Just for
ropes.
no reason.
Yeah.
Well,
Those silver things and a big.
yeah, the
Hey,
little poles. They're gonna be gold. Though.
Just
We're
to
not
put
using
them
silver.
around
So
our,
as
around
if there's a line. Here's where the line
Zigzag 'em
will form,
through there.
and somebody will get in the line, right?
Hold
They'll
up,
be like,
hold up.
I'm gonna
All
get in
right,
this
come on
line, man.
or we
before
just somebody needs to like not steal, but get a one of those. Please wait here to be seated signs. Out
Oh,
of
for sure.
like
A podium, the whole deal.
I like that.
Get Steve Carnegie over there.
Yeah, we
Maitre
could have
D'.
like a hostess.
All right, let me see if you're on the list.
Steve Carnegie. He's the limiting factor as to who gets in the nightclub.
He was at my first DMXS party. He was in a full Foot Locker referee uniform because he just started the AMA. He had a clipboard and a whistle, and he walked around all night long, just like party foul, like
dirt bags.
yeah, or just like terrible dancing, like
Yeah.
just blow the whistle.
Writing
on the
people up.
Yeah.
Let me
I
tell
mean-
you, when you go to a big party in a big crowd, and this is some advice for people that are listening to this
For
and want to get in
losers
trouble with something. A whistle goes a long way. I mean, a long way. Like I remember being a kid, we'd go to like these huge street parties down at Georgia Tech, and my buddy would take a whistle and just start blowing it in the crowd.
Hey, everybody's ducking,
Everything is
like,
stopped.
What's going on?
Yeah,
man?
everything stops because people don't know if it's
Now
the
you're in
cops
control.
or- yes.
And you hide it real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Man,
I don't know what that
know.
is. What's going on?
It got quiet all of a sudden.
Yeah. Whistle does a lot.
Yeah, that's solid. We'll keep that in mind when we
Yeah, we
steal
need the
the
velvet ropes.
the
and
velvet
wait
ropes
here
from
to
the
be
movie
seated.
theater. The hostess
Please,
podium.
please.
Wait here to
some
be
room.
seated for karaoke.
Classic, man.
And it's just us three. Nobody ever goes in there.
Yeah, there's nobody.
Never, ever. And again, we do karaoke. I don't care if anybody comes. Like Christina's like, y'all just trying to get attention. I'm like, no, I don't.
We got the doors shut
We're
most
doing
of the time.
yes, we're doing it just for
We
ourselves.
had to shut it at Mid Ohio. I mean, the dude next door had little kids. One kid was racing a vintage CR80.
Like, how serious are you for
It's
vintage
like-
motorcycle days? I mean, come on, dude.
It's serious, a national
This
championship.
is national. I'm like, oh, we're gonna just till 3 a.m. Can we not go till
Yeah.
3? We're
What
getting
would
up
it
at
hurt?
7.
Yes.
You got 4 good hours.
We made announcements like that.
Yes.
5
We will be
hours.
shutting down in 3 more hours.
Get your requests in now. Yes. So.
Vintage Motorcycle Days, Mid Ohio. That's the next one you got to do. Are you guys doing Mammoth?
July
I'm not
26th.
thinking you're doing Mammoth. It's not happening.
I don't feel it. It's a lot of work.
When is it?
It's not. That's why it's not
20th.
happening.
June 20th.
All we need is bikes.
I mean, I ain't against a flight. And Amanda already said she'd like to drive down PCH1 one more time.
Listen, if we can line up bikes, I'm down.
Will you call GL and just get us some couple of customer bikes that he
Sure.
told him it'd be a couple of weeks?
Yeah, that's something's wrong with the top, and we're still testing
Somebody,
them.
isn't there somebody that rents bikes? There's somebody that rent us bike.
GL would know who to talk to.
Oh, I'm sure you can rent them. I mean, Jim Holly, there's whatever motocross vacations, all that stuff's out there.
Yeah. Scary.
I mean, I'm down.
Listen,
I know
let's talk about me and Nick coming home from Fannin coughing. We were coughing because we had gotten so out of breath, or at least I was coughing. You may not have. Nick goes, dude, that sounds like you ran like way too hard down a long road. You were running too hard. I said, no, that was motocross. That's it. 1,000 feet of elevation.
Oh yeah, so you're talking about 8,000 feet.
Let's add 8 more thousand, and then let's.
It takes a while to get acclimated for me. I definitely get tired more.
I felt like I was going to go to the
noticed it.
hospital for a minute after Saturday at Mammoth. I felt like a cinder block was laying on my chest, man, and I was all I could do to stay calm
Because you couldn't
because I
quite-
couldn't get the
right.
breath. But then
I'll wake myself up at night at Mammoth. My first couple of nights, I'm like, can't get a good
have to
breath.
purposefully
you
take
gotta
deep breaths.
Deep breaths.
I'm
Yep.
going to solve all this as soon as y'all find bikes. Hold on.
He's about to
hey,
find it right now.
get us bikes, Kevin.
Y'all get, I can't, I mean, I can ask.
I mean,
they'll
I
tell
just
us.
know everybody. That's the hard part, you know. I don't know where to. I don't know how to limit that.
We'll just ask,
We're like, we don't know anyone.
where would a man rent a bike?
When I call, they're gonna be like, "Well, man, we can do it. It's 20,000.
20,000 a person.
Yeah, 20.
Sure.
But it'll come with
That's
a
reasonable.
mechanic.
Duh, yeah.
I don't
We're going
need
to
a
fly
mechanic.
Shoei Tech here.
Yeah, I do need someone from Showa, you know, or WP, depending on what it's got.
Okay.
And Dunlop, I'd like to have a Dunlop rep.
Doesn't Brian Stokes' brother, didn't he work for
Brian Stokes. No, he works for Triumph.
I know, but his brother worked for, I thought,
I don't know
White
his
Power.
brother. His cousin is James Stokes. Who's
No,
the
he had a
head-
brother that worked for him too.
Really?
Yeah, for White Power, the suspension company or something like that.
Man, it's WP.
White Power.
Can you believe that
I can't
was their
believe for that
company name?
long. Tom
Yeah.
White.
Yeah, it made it forever.
And nobody ever said it. Like Aunt Jemima had to shut it down.
Yeah.
Done. No more syrup.
And that WP was a clean.
Just
There's nothing to that. It didn't have any meaning. Neither does
Okay,
Aunt
so,
Jemima.
Tom White.
I can get us high altitude simulation masks for $40 on Amazon.
Boom. So you'll have.
Thank you, Nick.
You're like
So we need to start training.
on Batman.
High altitude simulation is just going to limit your airflow, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Just being there suffocating yourself.
Doubles as a ball gag.
That is not good.
So you can write that off in your taxes.
yes. Ball
Obviously.
gag. Dude, it was for training purposes.
So your account of that. What is this?
What if you took that to PT
Butterfly chair, a
Solutions?
ball gag, whips.
Could you imagine if you integrated that at PT Solutions and somehow it ended up at
ball
Baker's
gag?
Factory?
Yeah, you were doing waterbed training with altitude simulation at the same
With the
time.
ball gag.
See, a lot of people don't. They never think of this. You
And
think
then you
ET is
fall-
not using a ball gag in
probably
Colorado?
are. And then they probably fall, pop the waterbed, and drown. Like, what the dude died at PT Solutions.
Water just comes shooting through the showroom up there, and everybody's just going
Wash them out the front
downstream.
door.
Yes.
They need to go out the front door, though, man. It's time.
What about Cooper getting jacked off after the race?
Yes.
Oh, his jacketed off.
Is that a reference to the album? Take off your pants and jacket.
I don't think so. I think he was just talking about you got to get your jacket off.
It's time to it's time to jacket off
Yeah.
on this one or something. Whatever he said.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching those
He had
guys.
morning wood.
Yeah.
Then he jacked it off. It's pretty serious. Coops got a
He's on
low
it.
key sense of
You
really
know,
good humor.
But
Tied
let
up
me
in
tell
points, too, man.
I was a little bit disappointed that he didn't thank us on the podium.
I mean, Cody Shock, boom.
3-year deal.
Cooper Webb, win after win after win, tied in
Yes.
points.
Tied
Boom.
points. Got to be. If anybody
Like it's a
thinks that-
coincidence or something.
Josh
right?
Greco dating a Hooters model. Boom.
Boom.
You're
It's
welcome.
not like it's not correlated to being on our show.
Totally related to us.
Yeah. I mean, those things.
Anybody gets that close to sugar balls,
It happens. Good
it's
things
like,
happen.
Good things happen.
You
Yeah.
either turn to
Dave's
sugar.
life probably
or-
got better this weekend.
Oh, there's no way it didn't.
Yeah, he probably.
Here's some more breakfast for you, bitches.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't get a lot of questions about the sugar balls on the side of the.
Dude, they could not understand. They're like, "No, tell me about sugar balls."
What does that mean? Your sugar
And Nick's
balls.
like, "You smell those cookies?
That's what. Those
That's
aren't
my
cookies.
balls.
Those are
They're not-
balls. That's the
They're
smell emanating
not
from my pants.
cookies.
I don't even remember how that name even happened on the show, but it did. And
Sugar
we're-
balls,
and
Blackman.
we're
Dude, it
staying with
flows.
It
There's
does.
no way to not use
Fireball Watkins. Seriously?
it. Yeah. And I never drank anything. I just all of a sudden liked Fireball.
Boom! And it just showed up. Appreciate the sponsorship.
But I can go forever without it. I could stop right now.
right now,
Yeah,
I can stop anytime.
anytime I want.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I know people have been doing it for 20 years. They're not hooked.
They're not hooked. They can stop. They can stop anytime they
It's
want.
not addictive at all. I know people.
Man, I saw a Gady 80, and I did. This guy posted it on like,
Is it in Cedartown?
no, it's on Facebook. It's not for sale.
the Cedar
and
Town-
this dude-
no,
this
He's
dude-
proud of it.
He was like, it was in motocross and whatever. Like 90 people commented on it, like, hey, here's my first bike. It might suck to some of y'all, but it's awesome to
But
me.
by
or something
God,
like that.
for me
it's a
and-
red Gady 80, and I commented on like I call it a
You're
Gady 80.
like you did you
telling
you
them it was a
private
Gady
message
80?
the dude
Yes.
is what you
No,
did.
I posted it.
And y'all are
If
meeting
you
to
want
go
to get
skating.
rid of this now,
Y'all are meeting to go skating.
I know what I got.
I know what I got.
What are you
No
looking
low
up, Nick?
ballers.
I'm looking up KD80.
How do I get a
It's not for
KD80
sale.
ball gag?
Everything's for sale, Kevin.
With a
This one-
waterbed
He
frame.
was not posting it for sale. He was just saying, "This is
This
my bike.
is how
this
I
is what's
started.
happening. This is what we're doing over
Everything's
here."
for sale.
I wouldn't have been as good as I was in life. See, we thought the KD80 might have sent you down some spiral of negativity that caused all kinds of issues in your life.
My house burning down.
Broken collarbone. See,
Two car
the
crashes.
broken collarbones are from spoke skins. No
We
doubt.
got
did
that
figure
figured
that
out. We
out,
did
yeah.
figure that out.
Yeah. Well,
And lack of talent. I mean, I'd say 90% spoke skin.
you say all that. However, if we just take pictures of Kevin on a motorcycle, he sure does ride like he knows what he's doing.
And then if you were to look at it real speed, you're like, "Go, dude! You're gonna foul plugs, dude." I look like
Foul
a guy.
plugs.
I remind myself of a guy that is on a bike, like just breaking it in. Like, all right, as soon as I get this thing broke
Soon as
in,
I
you better
break his
watch me
heat cycle.
turn this son of a bitch loose here.
I'm gonna let this thing eat as soon as this heat cycle's over. Remember,
Well,
people
he
used to
sounds
talk
like a
about
gay
heat
hairdresser.
cycle.
As soon as I get this thing heated up, I'm gonna tear this thing up and get me an ice Coca-Cola when I'm done.
Replenish my
Get me some
sugar.
scrimp scampies over at Long John Silver's.
Scrimp.
There's a guy that used to
Shoot.
cut Jared's hair. He was talking about that. He goes, "Jared, you want just a little bit off the top?" That deep little.
Do you know what I'm doing? I'm leaving.
There's some stuff
I'll
on
be
there.
like,
I got-
no, you're not gonna cut my
his
hair,
name
man. You're
Mike?
sc-
I don't know, but he was also the guy that I used to own Scandal's Pizza.
And pink and black
Where
outfits.
pizza- where our
you had to
pizza-
work in
Yes.
pink and black.
Black pants,
and
pink
Kevin
top.
worked there, man.
With my
at
buddies.
Scandals.
And he goes, "Well, our pizza's scandalous."
You are creeping me out. I feel like I'm basically
Get in
already
that
dating
dough.
a man.
And when he talks like that, as soon as he lets his voice do that, you know.
You're
that.
way too good at it,
But
man.
yeah, you get-
Stop. God, that hurts.
He wants some more pepperonis on there.
You should
like
you
that
should
salted
announce
and
all your
cured
motocross
meats.
races like that.
Do you want some sausage? Guys, if we could get the 200cc pros up there and with your gear and your suits on.
your
racing
costume,
suits
your
on.
racing costumes.
Yeah,
Can you put on your
costumes?
racing costumes?
I had
Second set of
somebody-
motos is going to start real soon, y'all. So we're going to need y'all to come on out of your RVs and such.
Could you imagine if you announced a race like that? That would be solid.
We need the 250cc's out there, 250cc's and the hundreds and stuff.
and stuff
And
and
stuff.
things.
All of a sudden, he can't.
Oh,
he's
there's
stuck.
another one,
and
right?
stuff and things.
So
we had
the
this
dude.
guy. Yeah.
All right, they have a riders meeting at Perry Mountain. We forgot about it last year, but Greg Day remembered. So this dude has a little bit of a nervous tick when he gets up there and starts talking.
Yeah.
He goes, "Hey guys, stuff on things. Now that y'all are all here, I just want to let you know stuff on things that basically we've laid out this trail to be experts only.
Yes, sir.
But there are some sections that are pro only stuff on things. And if y'all could skip those, if you ain't pro, I'm serious.
How many stuff on things?
was 7. I counted 7 this year.
7 stuff on things.
But I
And
think
I'm
last
pretty
year.
sure we might have missed one.
Oh, for sure.
But-
Then he said stuff on it.
Yeah.
Instead, he would alter it instead of saying stuff on things. He'd be like, we go back there and that's blocked off stuff on it. It made no sense. And Nick turns and looks at me. He's like, yeah, count
I
these.
got it. I got it.
We hadn't even talked about it beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I forgot. And
And
Greg
I
goes,
haven't even looked at John. I just turned around. And I was like, "You're counting this, right?" And he's like,
yeah,
I'm
I'm,
up
counting.
for
I'm
it.
over there like this 1, 2, 3, 4.
I pick things up like, okay, so
You got a nervous tick, Nick's on it.
yes, unfortunately, sometimes people,
Weirdo! Like Nick.
but
You're
you know
terrible.
what? Because I had a teacher. one time-
Tourette's! Idiot!
I had a teacher, like I got up in front of class and said, and I just did it right then. It bothers me when I say like that, but I was going, and then said something, and the teacher's
Idiot!
like, are you going to say every time you speak, or are you just going to, like, in front of everybody? And I was,
You gonna cry when I
You
beat
were
that old ass of
incredibly
yours?
aware all of a sudden.
correct.
Boom.
And so,
So I should have done that to that dude. I should have been like, stuff
Hey.
on things you gonna say?
yeah. Hey, I got a question.
I was making love and stuff on things.
Anybody got questions?
Any questions? Yes. Are you going to keep saying stuff on things every time?
Stuff on things, dude.
Stuff on things.
Imagine that.
And the funny
Not
thing,
like,
if you
I
said,
take a
if you
over
told
that.
somebody that he doesn't even know he says it.
Heck
Right.
no, he has
You
no
know,
idea.
No,
no
stuff
idea.
on things.
I take a large Coca-Cola stuff on things and a hamburger. What you want?
That's
Stuff
exactly
on things.
But a lot of people do that, though.
That's crazy.
A lot of people, it's not stuff on things.
And it's not stuff
but
on it.
Sometimes people will say,
I'll say this. 90% of the guys, if you pay attention, they start every sentence with no, yeah, no, right, no.
That's
no.
annoying. That's racist.
All them dudes that answer their questions.
Yeah, no.
No, I mean, yeah, but no, you know what I mean. No.
I'll
They
say,
shouldn't
I'll say
do
you
that.
know
They
what
do
I
it.
mean all the time, dude, and I hate it. Know
But
what I mean?
that comes from when you was on the street and you was like, you know what I'm
You know what I'm
saying?
saying? No, yeah, but
no
no.
regrets.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
no.
you know what I mean.
Hey, so tell me about that section. Was it tricky? No, yeah, yes, no, yes, for
You
sure.
walk away like I shouldn't
sure.
have asked that. I'm more
Well, some people
confused.
say that they have to ask you a question and they say yeah afterwards. So, are you going to ride today? Yeah. You know,
Yeah,
like,
they're
I
trying
guess-
to tell you that you're
I guess I'm
going
going to
to.
ride then.
That's
apparently.
kind of what y'all do to me. You're going to go to Mammoth, yeah?
yeah.
Yeah, right? You're going to go to a mammoth.
We're going to go to Mammoth. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Nick's like,
the jump
originally we were buying a van,
8,000 feet.
putting the bikes in the van,
We're not
Shipping
maybe
the van.
We are. I don't know yet.
and we were going to use the van to drive around out there
And you're
and
gonna
go
sell
down
it and make a profit?
PCH1 and either sell it or ship it back. We got to get the bikes back, so obviously we're shipping it.
Unless you rent
Then
bikes.
sell it.
Fly out there, rent bikes, go home.
I'll get a van next week.
I see this guy.
I've
not kidding.
I've already
I
looked at
know
it.
he's not kidding.
I almost
Hey,
bought
there's
one last week.
there's a van that Price Cannon is selling. It's all black with moto rims, the whole deal, $3,000.
$3,000.
I
Does
mean-
it have an engine?
Yeah, it runs.
I bet it runs perfect.
I mean, you might have to put 10,000 in it.
Okay, why don't Nick just buy one for
Yes.
13,000?
Yeah, buy one.
Let's save all that
In 3 weeks of time. man.
$10,000.
It's $3,000 though.
It
Price.
just needs $10,000 worth of
It
work.
needs wheels, tires, a transmission, a motor,
Drive shafts,
a roof,
ring and pinion,
Other
air
than that-
conditioning.
Yes,
Shag carpet.
yes.
Yes, it needs a disco
It's a
ball.
rebuilt title
New shag carpet.
Yeah, it's
from
been in a
Maine,
flood.
so you got to go to Maine, get
Once that's settled, once you get with the main DMV,
good to go.
I do
They're
have
open
a
once a month.
15 passenger van. We just couldn't,
Take the seats out, or
take
take
the seats
15
out.
people with you to split gas.
and they could each hold a motorcycle part
Yep.
because we would have to disassemble the bikes.
These forks are heavy. You want to run the forks?
I'd rather have a shop stuff on it.
Hey, we need
Stuff on
listen,
things, you know what
we
I'm
need to
saying?
look at classes, and if we're not going to ride the same classes, we only need one bike.
That's
Stuff on
Here you
things.
go.
Now he's
We're
cooking
both
with
50,
gas.
but I could ride 40.
Yes.
Last year I did better, or last time I did better in 30
I
than
don't care
40.
what I ride. I'll ride.
Obviously, we don't care.
250A.
No, no.
That'd be so funny. Roar, they
I ain't
just take
riding
off.
250A stuff on things. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
I'll ride schoolboy.
Hey, when we talk to
This
Hannah,
dude in schoolboy.
let's throw every one of these little weirdo things we've talked about in there.
Do
And
not
let's
do
be
that.
like, hey, stuff on
He'll be-
things.
he'll be
you
like-
know what I'm saying?
Are you mentally retarded? Like he will say that. He will say, "What the hell
Let's
is
ask
wrong
him
with
if
you?"
his mechanic ever put spoke skins on one side and
Don't
it
do
ever
that
caused
either.
any
He ain't
kind
got
of
time for your nonsense,
disbalanced CRF.
son. If you ain't gonna take this interview seriously, this thing is over.
So we only need one bike now.
Okay,
We'll just look at the classes. We'll look at classes tomorrow.
here we go. I love how Kevin's just ultra confident. It's cool. Whatever y'all want to do, we'll make it happen at Mammoth.
It'll go.
It doesn't matter what, man. We're gonna have to. I'm wearing one pant's leg, and Nick's gonna be in the other one. Is that stuff
if
on
we're
things?
sharing
Is that
gear?
cool?
We're
What if
sharing gear.
we take one of our bikes, we disassemble it, put it in
You
bags.
carry
two
bags.
two
Like
OGO
we-
bags.
Yeah,
Yep.
with 2 OGO bags and a golf club hard
For the
case for
forks.
the forks and shock.
And we're just,
That's $1,400 in bags.
and we'll borrow.
It'd be cheaper than.
No,
It's
you're right.
still cheaper. Yeah, you're right.
I've seen them do it with KX60s for sure. 65s from
Well,
Bermuda.
that sounds obvious. We're talking full size motorcycles here.
I feel like,
Stuff
could
on
you not get a
things.
frame in an OGO bag?
That big
Just the
ass one
frame?
that has 3 wheels? You could.
Carry on.
There's
Yeah,
one
yeah.
they make that has
the
3
9800.
wheels.
I've got that.
No, it's bigger than that. It's something else.
From OGO?
It's called like a Brodozer or something. It's got some name.
Really?
It's a new one. It has an extra wheel, and it's. I think it's a 1-ton
I
axle.
mean,
under
you
it.
might just be able to get a motorcycle shipped for $1,000 or something.
You guys are watching this. They're like, dude, you can do it this
Will
way.
you stop
I know, we're gonna
playing?
have
Yeah,
1,000
someone's going, these
There's
dumbasses.
1,000 people out there right now that know they have a.
I bet there's
easy-
not 1,000.
easy solution,
It's 3 people.
and they're
watching.
like, "God, I think you can do
We
this
picked
are
up
so
Dave,
for
though,
$2,750. You can get this whole thing done."
Done.
for $2,750.
Gear,
$27.50.
bikes,
I
crated.
guarantee you that's cheaper than the gas, the diesel fuel last time.
How much was it?
$8,000 in diesel fuel.
Holy cow.
And of course, that was first when the prices went up. So some places I was paying $4.70. In California, I was paying $6.50.
You're still going to pay that probably.
Yeah,
now.
it's that much now.
$6.50 a gallon, dog.
It's probably more than that now.
It's $200.
We got to
for
Death
the
Valley.
ticket.
Me and Don. It was $9 right there at the entrance to Death
Ooh,
Valley.
I didn't pay that.
But that was it's like they got you. You either pay that gas
or you're
you,
walking.
or
Or
it's Death Valley, or you die in the valley.
And you'd be like, man, Don, this sucks.
I think
Stuff
we
on
just stretch
things.
it out and just see what
I paid
happens.
$9 a gallon, but it saved my life.
Yeah.
Right.
Literally.
$9 a gallon. I mean, that's $400 for a tank of fuel.
Bob Hanna says he's on the phone, but he will hang up precisely at 5 p.m.
Dang.
I know.
I
Bob Hanna
bet.
don't play
You
around.
mean
His time, 5
it's got to
p.m.
be 4 out there?
2 hours behind.
Really? He's East Idaho or something?
I don't know.
Idaho.
Shoot. Nick is the hoe.
Dude,
Stuff on things. You know what I'm saying?
Idaho stuff.
You go down here in that section right there, that's pros only stuff on things. And if you ain't pro, you just want to not take that route stuff on it.
Their trails were fun though. The trails were good.
They were good.
That was a lot of fun.
They weren't even dusty, man.
No, it was
The roads the next day had some dust, but it still wasn't
there was
bad.
No dust. It was good, man.
Y'all had a good weekend then.
It was a
Weather was
lot of
perfect.
fun. Yeah.
Have you cleaned all his bikes and everything up?
I watched them at the
Good deal.
track.
He was like, dude.
I missed
John
a
ha-
spot on that beta. That sucker was dirty, man.
It was
Yeah, the
dirty.
stickers, and he was like, well, these are okay. The sticker job was okay that you did.
I need to trim. It's rubbing sugar balls, so I'm gonna have to take the razor blade and come on down through there.
If anybody wants to join this little clan we got, I mean, it's a full service that John provides. The
I
RV,
can't handle it, dude.
the bikes, the transportation.
It wears me
amazing.
down to a nub, but I'm like,
You can't have a
dude,
dirty bike in that trailer.
I
Can you?
gotta
Hey,
wash the bikes.
And now he's talking about going with me to Lake Sugar Tree.
That's awesome.
That's David Bailey's cycle barn or Gary Bailey's cycle
Yeah.
barn. I want to
You
go
want to
there.
go? Well, let's go. Weekend after next.
I don't want to race though. I'm just gonna be pimping your junk. Every time you go to the line, it's gonna be
Beautiful.
flawless.
Why don't
Gear.
you want to race?
I don't know. I probably would.
Yeah, you're gonna race.
We could practice carrying one bike up there and sharing pants.
Is it next
legs.
weekend for
Yeah.
real?
not this weekend, but the next weekend.
And
yeah.
then Lazy Rivers after that?
Yeah, but I'm
And you're definitely doing this, Nick. You're riding some kind of qualifier no matter what.
yes.
Okay.
So we'll go to Lake Sugar Tree the next week. I mean, we can leave on
Axton, Virginia.
Saturday.
Nick's like, I don't need practice.
I've been there one time. I rode up there with me and Tank, and in an F-150.
That's when that axle was crooked
3
and your
across.
goddamn forks was locked
And
in.
we were sitting there, and I watched in slow motion as his ginormous ass dip cup slides across that. Look like a bar. A
stop
bar. He
it.
goes, whoa. And I'm watching, I'm like, no. And he goes, plink. And he goes, whoosh.
Did you
Dip spit.
Dip spit. That's what I
Spilled
smell
on
like.
you?
That's what I smell like.
have, was
Mike.
Bill
Was it
Belts
Cope-
with you?
I don't know if he was with me or not.
Was it Copenhagen?
Because Bill wore a Axton, Virginia shirt. Like
He quite possibly could have been. I was in gotcha shorts that were smell like shit.
But was it Copenhagen Skull? What do you think it was?
It's probably Copenhagen. He
Yeah,
he wasn't no
it's Copenhagen.
he ain't no pussy.
Man, I like it worm dirt. You
It's
know what I'm saying?
terrible.
Stuff on it.
you graduated. You know, it's so funny. That's what it was. You went like when I was in middle school. You start with Hawking.
Hey, stuff on
Yeah.
You
things.
start with Hawking, then you move to Skull, and then you graduate.
Hawking. What
you-
was
All right,
it?
boys.
Hawking.
Are y'all ready?
And then you graduate to Copenhagen.
So nervous right now.
John, lead us in. I'll let you start the interview.
Hey, Bobby, here's John stuff and things.
Here I
Say-
am.
I'm not
Click.
saying stuff on things.
Do not say that, you dummy.
First, I got to find all them questions.
Yeah, pull some of them up.
All right, I got them right here. I'm only asking
we got
about
'em-
early BMX stuff, dude.
No.
Dude, that flyer from the state championship.
I'm gonna ask. I got a warranty question about my flak jack.
This says Memorial
Good
Day
question.
Western States Championship.
All right, well,
NBA.
think big picture now. You got to think more
That's
than just
where
you and
Hannah
3
was
other guys.
focused.
There's other people listening that want to
I
enjoy
just that
this.
blows me away.
Ready?
Man.
We're doing it.
Okay, I'm ready.
Then watch this not work.
Man, you should have played music first. That's been your thing the last couple
I
of
know
weeks.
if we had the money, we'd play Rocky Like a Hurricane.
Why does it not do anything?
Play some music.
We don't have the money to.
This
play.
is what happens. He embarrasses the family stuff on things, and then you try to go down there and hit that pro section. You ain't got your pro card stuff on it. You got to ride the expert line.
Okay, it worked.
Oh, we got music.
Get you some nanner pudding.
Yeah, eat a kiddie pool. That dude's like, oh, hey, I noticed you like my old lady's nanner pudding. I fixed you a kiddie pool full of it.
Dude, it
Stuff
was-
on things.
We're like John. What came walking back up? I said, dude, I ate 3 bowls of banana pudding,
He could not walk
Yes.
straight.
and that's after fried catfish.
Hello?
Chicken.
Why is this thing?
I think he was connected.
He hung up on you when I said
Oh, he's over it. He
he
heard fried
hates the word catfish.
He cannot stand catfish.
This is infuriating.
It's not infuriating.
So I'm restarting my phone just to whatever.
Well,
And
I
Bob's
mean,
probably trying to call us back.
Alex Hunter wants to know if Kevin Kelly's a real person or just Neil Brennan slumming it.
He's a comedian, but Alex Hunter is a dork. He used to be an AMA sports manager. He was the Mike Burkeen before Mike Burkeen.
It sounds like he knows what he's talking about. I mean, to ask if you're a real person. Is that scar fake or is that scar?
Biker in hell.
And then Johnny O'Hanna is a longtime listener, first time caller on Facebook.
Saw that.
That's pretty solid. Are you calling him?
I'm just restarting my phone now.
So we want to ask him about politics. We want to.
Yeah, let's get that right. Let's get rolling with that.
Kelly Fouch wants to talk about his Chick-fil-A hookup.
Yeah, well,
Bob was the first
DG
person.
533 who was wanting to know about fanning the clutch.
That's Dan Geary, probably.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. All right, we'll try it again.
About fanning the clutch. Was he the first person to fan the clutch?
No.
Make it look like Chad Albritton used to through the corners and stuff. He'd be like, man,
I
he
cannot
never let
figure this
off.
out.
But he had the clutch pulled in. I mean, it wasn't really that fast, you know. And Randy Richardson wants to know about Mark Ashworth at the Silver Sands in South Carolina.
Oh, my God.
He was fast.
It's not. I don't understand.
We might have to use an Apple product, Kevin. I'm just saying. We're trying not to talk politics, but here you are bringing it full circle back to politics stuff.
No,
on
I'm not
things.
doing that. I'm trying to get this phone to work.
Well, if you stuff on it, that's all you got to do. It's easy.
I guarantee I can play music right now.
Oh, let's play some music.
You hear that?
Oh, I heard that.
That's my phone.
That sounded like one of them little poopsies hitting the toilet up there at Scandal's Pizza. I noticed it squeaked out. Might be awful tight back here.
Hey, welcome to Scandals.
Scandal's Pizza. Our pizza is scandalous. That's stupidest
Step right this way.
stuff.
Bob says, I hear you.
he
You
can
just
hear
can't
us?
hear me. Yes. How is that happening? Let me
Well,
call
what
you.
I can hear Jimmy.
You can hear Jimmy?
Mm-hmm.
Who's Jimmy?
Jimi Hendrix, man.
Oh.
Do I have the wrong one?
There we go.
Works for John.
What do you mean?
I can call you.
Oh, you're calling me?
Yeah, just to.
Well, I missed your call.
You better get it. All right.
Let me see if I can get this real quick.
All right. Now we're back.
Hey,
It's
Kevin.
working. No, this is. All right. We got it now. We got it figured out.
You boys down there in the south are one step ahead of us, aren't you?
No.
Our internet is a dirt road, Bob. Don't even worry about it.
Dirty,
I hear
dusty.
you guys on there talking about Mark Ashworth and all this shit, and I'm glad you weren't saying any bad shit about me.
No, we don't have anything bad to say about you, but you obviously know who Mark Ashworth is.
I do.
Yeah, Randy Richardson wants to know if he was fast at Silver Sands.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There you go, Randy.
Yeah, he
Okay.
was. Who do we got here besides Kevin?
Well, one of the guys here is named Sugar Balls Blackman. Nick
Sugar
Blackman.
Ball?
Yes. That's
Okay, who's Sugar Ball?
That would be me. Actually, it's Nick Blackman, Bob, but
No, Sugar Balls. Go with Sugar Balls.
Go
Yeah.
with
Now
Sugar-
you've met John Watkins at the where were you at?
I sat beside you at the International Motocross Museum fundraiser that Terry Good had.
Oh, you did?
Yep, I brought you that helmet and you signed it, and
Oh, all right.
you picked up the helmet and you said, "This is a real one," because it
Because
was
it weighs
heavy.
a shit ton.
It weighs 500 pounds.
yeah, he's like,
All right, I'll send you a picture to prove it. I mean, you sound like
So
you
we
don't
got,
believe me.
John, Kevin, and Sugar Ball, huh?
There you go.
Just one ball. Yeah, it's Sugar Balls, but you call him whatever. You Sugar Ball him, whatever you want to call him. It's totally cool.
Sugar Balls or Sugar Ball?
balls.
Depends on who's asking. I think you might get them both if you.
Ball, B-A-L-L.
Nope. It's
two.
just like
There's
you're
two of
thinking.
them.
Anyway, I don't want to waste any time talking about Sugar Balls when we got Bob Hanna on the phone. We did put a post up about, hey, if you got a question for Bob Hanna, and there was quite a few that came through, and like I think one of the ones that made me laugh, like, who's your favorite, Brock Glover or Kent Howerton?
That's really somebody said that?
Yes.
And who's my favorite between those two?
Yes.
Man, that's a tough one. That's a toss-up, I guess. Neither one of them really like me. You know, Hart and I were friends for a long time until I broke my leg and came back. So I used to go to his house and ride with him, and I never rode with Brock. So I guess I got along with Howerton better at one time.
Wow, that is a statement.
Brock
right
was
there.
Brock was in the San Diego group, you know, and I was really never in the clique. Marty Tripes and I were good buddies, and he lived down there. But the rest of the San Diego guys are just, I don't know why, but I just wasn't in it. I wasn't in the clique with them. I have nothing against them, but Glover, Johnson, Wardy, and none of them ever cared for me much.
Yeah, there was the one guy asked another question was, hey, ask Bob, was he bummed out whenever Rick Johnson jumped in on your final parade lap at Unadilla and kind of like
No, I didn't care, but I think he didn't like it because somebody popped him in the mouth for doing it.
Oh, really?
Oh shit!
Somebody clobbered him in the back of the track. Did you know that?
I didn't know.
No.
Oh, yeah, they clobbered him and threw him off his bike and everything for doing that. And I thought that was kind of mean. I didn't care that he did that. No, I don't have anything against Johnson.
Do you think it's weird that Ricky didn't tell that? He just left that.
Yeah, he told me. I knew it.
Dang, man.
That's so crazy. Well, we talked about earlier.
The bastards clobbered me and beat me up back there.
Oh my gosh. We talked about that earlier, how much you were loved at Unadilla. We're like, man, that was his tracks. And we were like, people probably didn't like that, but we didn't know that
They just beat the hell out of RJ.
Yeah,
Poor Ricky.
Physical action about it.
Yeah, some of them didn't like that, but I didn't care. Shit, I didn't care.
Yeah, you had a pretty magical run there. I'm sure. I mean, we all know that, but like that, just having the fans that much behind you and that late in your career to win some big stuff, that had to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Unadilla was always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, a really great place.
Hey, wasn't there a story about you coming out in a dress or something? You about got beat up too at Unadilla or something like that?
Oh, we were screwing around on the night before the race there, and all the people, I think, on the, I don't know what they called, maybe those were the hill.
The
I don't
hill
remember if
people.
those were the hill people, but
Yeah.
on the other side of the road when they're camping, are those the hill people?
They've got a name because it
They're
says
camping.
the other side sucks.
Yeah.
They'll chant that.
Oh, yeah, so I don't know, but on the other side of the road from the track, there's people camping up there, too. Now, I don't know what they call those people, but they were all chanting to one of the girls come up there, and they're hassling the girls, and Jackie Penton was there, John Penton's boy, and Bevo, and there was a whole bunch of guys around there and said, hey, let's go over and screw those guys. You can put on some girls' clothes, and I'll drive you up there on the hood of a car, and we'll give them a girl if they want a girl. And I go, and I was an idiot. I go, okay, I'll do it. I put Jackie Penton's wife. We stole some of her clothes out of the motorhome, or whatever. I put her undies on and everything. and I went up dressed up like a girl in the front of the car, and they thought I was a girl. That's not saying much for the size of anything, but they thought I was a girl, and until they figured out I wasn't, and they got pissed. They had no idea it was me. And somebody chucked a beer bottle and hit and just sliced my head. It didn't even whack my head over, but it just touched my hair going by. Man, if that thing would have hit me straight arm, I wouldn't have been racing tonight.
Yeah, what's the Cycle News story
they
read?
found out who I was. What's that?
I said, how does that Cycle News headline look?
Yeah. Hannah struck by beer bottle in dress.
Trying to get skull-cocked at Unadilla.
Hannah gets skull cocked.
Bob Tranny.
I got lucky. And then once I jumped back in the car once they found out it was me. It was cool, but they got you know what they did? You know how they are, and they say, "Show me your tits," all this crap. So what I did, I pulled out my shirt. When they realized I wasn't a girl, they got really pissed. But they didn't know it was me.
It's false
and then
advertising.
after they went through the beer bottles, then they found out it was me. Then it was all cool. But they kind of got irritated at the tranny at first.
That's hilarious.
Bob Tranny.
That's a good one.
I just
But they're all
love
drunk. By that time, they were all drunk. I mean, that whole hillside was drunk. You know.
Hell, that could have been.
I love the
complete
mentality of just somebody that's that drunk and they're like, man, I'm pissed off. I had a shot with that girl
That's
until I found
bullshit,
out. I had a
man.
shot with that girl until I found out it was Bob Hanna.
Damn it. Still thought I could have got it.
It was funny. I'm glad that beer bottle they hit me right square in the head.
Shit,
Though,
yeah,
that would
that-
have been a whole different story.
That could have been bad.
John, what's your next question? Who's it from?
Well, it's from Ed Perry.
Okay. Yeah, I saw this one.
He's got a couple things. He noticed you at a Winter Am in 1980, and then again at Loretta Lynn's in 1986. You and Savitsky playing leapfrog, not even bent over, just standing straight up.
So Bob had vert.
Hopping each other. Any
Well, we always check.
Yeah, but that's pretty hard to do. I mean, just hop over another man without him bending over.
All right, next question.
Yeah.
Here's another one. This is Loretta Lynn's 86. Ed had built a floating rear disc on an 86 RM125. And you jumped up from an autograph signing and said, "Hey, this is what I've been trying to get you to build." And you obviously said that to some Suzuki employees. Any memory of that?
No, but I know about that, but I don't know that day.
Okay, yeah, it's just one of the ones. Hey, what about so Kelly Fouch wants to know about the Chick-fil-A hookup back in the day and delivering suitcases full of sandwiches to the races. Any memories of that?
The whole Chick-fil-A deal came from me in 1977 when I met Joe Zappa, Marty and Joe Zappa.
Yep.
And Keith McCarty already knew him. And then when he started working for me, they introduced me to Zappa, and I loved Zappa. And Zappa and I would go to Chick-fil-A. He took me to Chick-fil-A, and I loved Chick-fil-A. And so I always eat at Chick-fil-A. I've eaten more I ate Chick-fil-A today. No shit. 3 hours and 15 minutes ago, I was eating Chick-fil-A. I took some over to the hangar to my detail guy, and we ate it in the hangar there.
That's cool.
But I've eaten more Chick-fil-A. I would venture to say I've eaten as much as any one human being, I would say, because I have one 10 minutes from my house here now, which is a bad deal.
Yeah, you were in on it early, too. I don't remember Chick-fil-A.
I was eating it in 77.
Yeah.
You know, in 77 I was eating it. So
10 years for me.
What I did, I had a box. I was in South Carolina, probably at Anderson in South, where
Hammer
you
and
were saying
Hank
about.
Murray. Is that Anderson?
Hank Murray said that?
No, is that Anderson, South Carolina? The Hammer and Hank Murray's place.
Succession?
Yeah, that's where the Ashworth. You said Ashworth. I was
Yep.
probably at Ashworth around there or somewhere. I remember I drove up from Atlanta in a rent-a-car, and we were up there testing. And I had a big old box of Chick-fil-A in the back and a bunch of iced tea. And and some magazine guy goes, "Hey, what's with the chicken?" And I go, "Oh, I brought that up for all the guys, mechanics and crap." I go, "I love that stuff. We eat the shit out of that stuff." And he put that in an article. He said, "I had all this Chick-fil-A and iced tea in the back of the car, blah, blah, blah." Well, Truett Cathy, who owned Chick-fil-A at the time, the granddaddy,
Yep.
his boy,
Dan
Cathy. His
Cathy.
name, I just said.
Is it Dan?
Dan. It was Dan. Yep, Dan. And Dan read it in a magazine. Dan read a motorcycle guy, and he read it in the magazine. He goes, "Hey, Dad, look at this guy talking about your chicken." And Truett said, "Bring him to the corporate offices. Get a hold of him." So he got a hold of me through Zappa somehow, and they brought me into Chick-fil-A offices, and I met Truett, and we BS'd a bunch. And then Truett took me to his ranch. He had a couple hundred acres south of Atlanta. And he had 13 motorcycles in the garage, one Harley and a bunch of other stuff cleared on the mini bikes, and he let kids ride them and stuff out there.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I built a motocross track on his land, and we would ride out there. And then I knew Truett forever after that. And then when I was around Hapeville there, I know one day I ate 11 pieces of chicken in one day. I know that. That was a record.
Jesus.
Because we'd go there at 7 in the morning, and I'd be there at 1 after a gallivanting around at night. So many times I was there at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, you know.
That's so wild. That's a lot of Chick-fil-A. You definitely had the most of any human being.
And that was the hookup back then, too, because at that time, that Chick-fil-A, that dwarf house on the south side of Atlanta,
That's about it.
that was the only outside.
Had to have been the only one.
No, there were other Chick-fil-A's, but they were all inside of a mall.
The mall, Cumberland.
Right, and that was the only.
At that time, they weren't even inside of a mall in 77. Truett had another one somewhere else in Atlanta there that didn't even make it. And then they started putting them in the malls.
Wow.
But at that time, not even in the mall, I don't think, when I first started eating them there in early 77.
Yeah.
And then they started hooking up. There was one in Florida in the mall, and then they started going around the malls for sure.
Man.
Hey, Bob, talk about some of your, another guy had asked a question about your favorite and least favorite motorcycles. I know those are kind of generic questions, but I really like hearing like some of the and follow that up with like some of the more crazier because you talk about Zappa, who was a great welder, is what you told me. So the fact that you guys had a welder on payroll because shit was breaking that often just blows me away.
Or like sawing off head tubes.
Yeah,
And let's
like
change the
so
angle.
what was some of the more radical things you guys did in between races? And
we changed frames. And we changed. We took a 77 Works 250 and cut the backbone out of it and redid it to put a production shock in it and all sorts of stuff at Zappa's because he fixed anything. And we modified all sorts of crap there.
and
He
you
did
run
all
that
the
by
welding.
Yamaha corporate, or you're like, we're just doing it. I don't give a shit.
No.
No.
Yeah, so when you showed up,
Yamaha was shit.
but so you didn't run it by them. You just showed up on race day, and they're like, "What is this?"
Absolutely. Yeah, at that time, Yamaha's factory in Japan, there's two separate companies basically for works bikes and production bikes, and they had egos on both sides, and they didn't talk back and forth and coordinate. And the 77 bike, I ended up riding because we just weren't getting along with the works bike. We were trying to fix the works bike. The 77, I rode a stock production bike in the Supercross that year, box stock. At one time, we had a mag front wheel on. That was as far as it got for anything trick. We just happened to have a lighter front wheel, but that bike was stock. We didn't even have any pistons to put in it or rings because the parts kit hadn't come out for the bikes. We had a couple of bikes we could swap back and forth parts, and I won the Supercross on a stock Yamaha out of the box.
Dang.
And Honda tore it down. Honda was so damn stupid. A Merle that was, he was Pomeroy's mechanic at the time. Good guy, but he had his head up his ass this day. He wanted to tear that bike down. He thought we were cheating. And I'm going, are you kidding me, Merle? The top end's never been off this bike. And they tore it down at Atlanta or somewhere down there. And then we sold the bike just so we could prove it was stock at Michigan. I auctioned it off later at Pontiac, Michigan Supercross.
Wow. When he's tearing it down, you're like, hey, we don't have any head gaskets or base
We're
gaskets.
screwed.
So
We didn't have squat.
How are we gonna put
had
this back
steal them
together?
off of other bikes.
damn.
Wow.
It was pretty funny. But I go, you're kidding me, right? You're going to tear a box stock. They're riding Works Hondas. They're going to tear a box stock Honda.
That is
Yamaha.
so
That was
wild. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
you
pretty
definitely didn't
sick,
have the
really.
advantage, right?
So at what point did Yamaha race? Did they? I mean, I guess they knew you were riding a stock bike. They never communicated that back to Yamaha Japan because they'd have been like,
they knew that. They knew I was riding a stock one, and the works department was working hard to make the works one right. But we had already been cutting up the works one and doing stuff to it. And we put a remote reservoir on the stock one, and we did some stuff to it at some point. I don't remember exactly when. But the damn stock one was nice. It wasn't extremely fast, but it just neutral handled. I mean, it just nice, you know.
Yeah. You knew what it was going to do.
It just handles nice, and you could ride it hard, and it wasn't that fast. So in Pontiac, I remember telling McCarty, I go, on the second night, I go, and we're on the start line, and it was a rattle trap. I go, this thing is not going to make tonight.
That's
I
not
go, you hear
good.
this? He goes, I hear the piston rattling in it when you shut it off. And he goes, I hear it. He goes, just ride it. If it doesn't make it, it doesn't make it. You know?
God.
It made it.
If it doesn't make it off the face of that double.
do you think anybody else could have pulled that off? Like, I mean, you had I had done a little bit of winning, and you were Bob Hanna, but like, if some rookie's like, I'm going to ride this bike and I'm going to do that, like,
Well, I don't know if he. Oh, what with Yamaha?
yeah, like the clout you had, I don't think anybody else could pull that shit off.
Oh, Yamaha in those days wouldn't have argued with me at all. They treated me basically like a god. They wouldn't have argued with me at all at that time. They just said, whatever you
Super
want to
cool.
ride, just don't lose. That's all.
Hey, you talked about your contracts too. Like, you handled all the negotiations at 18. You said you went in there, handled your own business, didn't whatever, and you said you always asked for twice than what you were worth.
I always ask more. I still do that in the airplane business. You can't get what you don't ask for. Okay.
Yeah, there's truth to that.
Start high and work down.
Yeah, man.
And did they
you
ever?
start low. You just get beat up anyway. So you might as well start them high and work down. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing I told Mark Barnett when he first signed his first $1 million contract with Suzuki. I helped him write And I said, here's where you want to start it, And we were competitors, but I liked Mark. And he got the $1 million deal signed. I go, you tell him to defer it over 10 years. You get 10% interest on it, and tell them you only take $100,000 a year, and they'll sign it. They'll sign it, and they did.
I didn't know it was 10. I thought it was 3. That's amazing.
He's like the Bobby Bonilla of.
No. He was a 3-year contract deferred over 10.
Oh, just paid out over 10.
Smart.
Wow.
With
Paid out
10%
over
interest.
10. Same. See, I never drew more than $2,500 a month at Yamaha for the 7 years I was there. I deferred everything, and even a side contract to ride to 125 for another $100,000 in 82.
Yeah.
That was I deferred that out. I just pulled the number out my ass while I was in there. They were going to make me ride to 125 instead of the 250 in 82, and I go, "Are you guys nuts?" I go, we got a chance now to win the 250 again. Finally, I'm back on something after I got hurt, And they go, no, we want you to ride to 125. I go, are you crazy? I go, why? And they go, here's why. We got 10,000 of them in the warehouse.
Right.
If you ride them, win, lose, or draw, we're going to sell them.
We'll sell them.
And I go, well, we're not going to win. And he goes, I really don't think you are. But they said they will. I said, I'll tell you what I will do. You'll pay me $100,000 extra because that's what I'm going to lose anyway. And I want a full Japanese team doing whatever I ask. And they said, we'll do that. We'll do that. And they did. I'll give them credit. They had I had seven Japanese guys with me the whole year, and they tried their ass off. The bike hadn't been developed in years, and we won one race and it seized most of the time. It just didn't like making 45 minutes, and they worked their ass off, and they promised and did what they said they would do. But we just did. That bike was a pile of shit, and the engine was, and it just wouldn't make it. I mean, we had to run the oil so thick in that thing to get it to not seize. It was crazy. And then I just pulled it out of my ass on the contract. I looked at it. I said, you know what? I want another $100,000. I want it paid with interest 10%, and I want it in 9 years. Okay?
Man.
And I figured I'd be retired by then. It'd be a nice chunk of change. And I said, that's what I'll do. And they said, fine. And they did it, and I got that check 10 years later,
That is amazing. And plus, you're 6
and
years
I already
post.
was gone. Yeah, I was already gone from there and gone from Honda and riding for Suzuki when I got that money.
Right,
or working for Suzuki.
So was there ever a point after you quit riding a dirt bike where you're getting checks from multiple OEMs at the same
Three
time?
people.
Yes.
Yamaha,
Yes.
Honda. I deferred to Honda. I deferred to Honda money too over about. Let's see. Last 2-year contract was deferred over 7, so I was well into Suzuki, and I was getting Yamaha money, Honda money, and Suzuki money all at the same time.
They probably loved that.
They're like, Bob's he's not too bummed out about getting 6th places. Although he's making like first place money every week when those checks come in. Yeah, I would imagine that's not a bad for the OEMs. They can kind of defer that. They like that.
I only took $2,500 a month from Yamaha ever.
God.
Ever.
Which that might have been good at that time. Could you live on that?
What's that?
Could you live on 25?
This is 1977.
Well, yeah, because I was
70s?
winning money, Yeah, I was winning money.
Okay, so you had purse money.
The contract was $250,000. I was taking $2,500 a month, and everything else was going in the bank basically with interest.
Sweet.
And I was winning money anyway. Like first year, 76, I made $51,000 in 1976, or whatever that money's worth now.
And that was a
I only got
championship year for you.
Yes. He won 4 straight years.
Yeah, I only got $1,000 a month salary in 76 the first year, and I only got $5,000 for a championship.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that much money. I made
Right.
$51,000 total, AMA money, clothes, everything.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get paid much for clothes because nobody even knew me there in 76.
That's
My
weird.
goggles, I bought my damn goggles in 76.
Jeez.
That's unheard of.
Yeah, now they got goggle guys that fly.
I wore Carrera goggles. I didn't know anything but wearing Carrera goggles till the end of 76. Scott USA, contacted me. They brought me to Idaho and wined and dined me to use Scott in 77,
Yep.
And that's how I moved to Idaho because I liked it when they brought me up there. I went skiing and I said, shit, this is where I'm moving.
It is nice. Idaho's a nice state, for sure.
Hey, so talk about winning all 3 of those titles in 1 year. Like that's something we're never going to see again. Obviously, the 125, the 250, and the 500. I guess you won all 3.
No, I
No.
didn't. I lost the 500 because the throttle cable fell out. So I didn't win. Oh, I won the Trans Am, but I don't know. That's 70. I never won three. Oh,
Yeah, I'm thinking.
I don't think I won. I won the Trans Am. I won the Supercross. Maybe in '78 I won. Yeah, but that was a Trans Am 500 class. I won, not the Nationals. Marty Smith won the Nationals. We went in there kind of tied, and my throttle cable fell out of the carburetor.
Yeah. That was an expensive carburetor. I think you quoted that at 50,000 or something. Was maybe what that carburetor or the throttle cable cost you.
It's so fun. Do you think
I've had worse days. I've had more expensive days than
Yes.
that, but that was an expensive one.
It's amazing to me. Like, we can sit here and say things like John said, like you quoted this, or you quoted that. You've done and said so much, and we were talking about this earlier. You were the first guy that, of course, we knew you and other people because we were motocross kids, which was a whole different thing back then. Kevin had a KD80. And then, so
It always comes up.
Got to throw that in there.
The gayest motorcycle ever. I call it the gay D80. My dad owned a Kawasaki dealership, and my brothers all had KXs, and I got a gay D80. So this is
It's
bothering me.
embarrassing
It's
as
bothering me,
hell.
and I'm 51 years old, and it still bothers me to this day. Anyway,
we thought you should know that, so you didn't get too attached to Kevin.
Yeah.
And so, but you were the first.
I had no idea he didn't have a KX. I wouldn't
Shit
even have
changes everything, doesn't it, Bob?
he said he never
thought-
would have
Oh,
talked
it
to me.
does.
He hangs up right now.
I wouldn't have called you guys tonight if I did.
Hell no, you wouldn't have.
But just consider it like charity work to talk to Kevin,
Thank
this
you.
KD80 owner.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you were the first guy, like people like at my school, in California was probably different, but knew outside of like people.
Yeah, you
that-
transcended our sport. Like
yeah,
you were-
people didn't know
Moto,
that
they
didn't
knew
know
Bob.
moto knew who you were.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, that was the coolest thing back then. Like people were like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to the stadium to watch Bob Hanna." Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of a changing time, really. Then it was good, and I don't know, I don't know if it was all. I don't really think it was all from riding. I think it was more 50% hanging with the guys after the races. Frankly, myself, and all the years, even when I quit, I didn't miss the riding. I can guarantee you that when I quit, I hated it, and I'd been hurt enough, and I'd been riding enough, and I'd been riding 5-6 days a week for years. I was sick of it, riding hurt every day, taping your ankles, taping your wrists. So, but what I did miss is after the race, and after the race was always a kick for me, and I didn't have to pretend to like it or pretend to like the crowd. I liked it, and I liked staying after the race. When the last person left the track, most days, I was sad they're gone, and I go, okay, I guess we're going home.
Yeah.
But I didn't leave until the last person left,
That's so awesome.
That's the legend
And
status.
I think that worked good. So, okay, we got a race and we're at Burn Hickory, and I'm just using it as an example. And Marty Smith and Pomeroy and Tripes, when the race is over, they're in a rent-a-car, they're gone.
Yeah.
So there's let's say there's 5,000 Marty Smith fans there that hate Bob Hanna, but Bob Hanna's the only guy in town, and he's there, and you can see a big crowd behind his truck, and they wander over there, and by the time they leave, I've stolen some of his fans.
Yep.
Maybe not all of them. Maybe they're Marty Smith fans all the way, but I stole a lot of them, and by the time you do that for a couple of years, I've got 80% of those suckers, right?
Yeah. Right.
That's
And people aren't stupid as people think they are. So I did never, and still don't. I kind of say what I want, but I really say what I think. And some people don't like it. A lot of times people don't like shit I say. They're still in a daily. I had my partner yesterday in the airplane business. He don't like what I'm saying, and but I'm still saying it. But
That's
there
right.
were people around in those days, like I remember being at a Supercross, and we'd have to go to these meetings before the Supercross for, I guess, the top dealers, top 20 dealers in that area would bring their families and blah, 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 and they'd meet with the riders, and we'd have dinner, and they'd ask questions. They could ask questions. And so they were asking questions. Well, you ask me a question, I tell you what I think, or I tell you what I think the truth is. They don't ask me, what oil do you run? And I don't say Yamalube when I do. They're supposed to run Yamalube, but we're running Bel-Ray.
Yeah.
And I say, we run Bel-Ray. And they go, we thought you ran Yamalube. They go, well, we say we run Yamalube, but we don't. We run Bel-Ray. And so I was asked later that week, I said, hey, you can't do that at those things. You got to lie to those people. And I go, well, you got two choices. You can not have me go to the next one, or they're going to ask me a question. I'm going to answer it. I don't care what they ask me, how much money I make, how much oil, what kind of oil, or what the hell I do. I'm going to tell them the truth. They're not stupid. They know you're a lying bastard. And they said, well, you don't have to go to any more of them. And I go, great. I don't like going to any, so I didn't went to anymore.
Just freed up those Friday nights before the race.
Yeah, people don't like that bullshit.
Yeah.
And the way I talk probably pisses 2 people off out of 10, always. But as Rush Limbaugh says, you can't. If you're out there to please everybody, you're a friggin' idiot, because you couldn't if you lied and kissed ass all day. There's 2 people or 5 that hate you anyway. So
that's right.
Why try? I don't try to make them like me. If they like me, they like me. If they hate me, they hate me. I personally don't give a shit.
That's very free.
Hey, there was a time when the podium was just shy of the Playboy channel.
X-rated,
Like,
yes.
I love the podium.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, what happened to the podium?
I really think the podium would be back if I was there. Those girls don't mind playing around up there. People don't mind playing around up there. It's just boring. And they say, they'll get arrested. Well, what are they going to arrest? I'm not doing anything
arrested. Nobody's getting arrested.
Wasn't like they weren't. Wasn't like they weren't kissing you back.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't think Cooper could play around on the friggin' stand if he wanted to?
Guaranteed.
If he's winning, he can do whatever he wants. Who's going to tell him not to do it?
Yeah, I posted a video of you. You were bummed out. They're like, yeah, Bob, last year you had a girl on your head and something after. He goes, yeah, what happened to all the women jumping on your head after a race or whatever? Like, I guess that was kind of the tail end of the wild podiums there.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
For sure.
This Sugar Ball's talking to you just so you no mistake there.
There you go.
But
yeah, no mistake.
Okay, Sugar Ball, go ahead.
Yeah.
No mistake.
So we were talking. We used to be so starved for information, right? And I was telling them earlier
moto information.
For moto information.
Anything
moto. We'd watch TV forever just to see a glimpse of you guys. Like, I used to love the commercials coming on. And so back, I don't know what grade I was in, but I read an article and they were talking with you as an interview. And you basically said, I don't like any of my competitors. When I go out there, I'm going to hate everybody because I'm going to use that. And, so I was like, we boxed at a boys club. And so from that day forward, I was like, freaking Bob Hanna says it. That's the way it goes.
You
when I get in there with somebody,
your competitor.
Whoever.
Hey, so Bob, check this out. Some 8th grade kid was getting his face beat in because of you, because Nick took what you said
railed on him,
whooped this dude's
hates
ass every week at the
I was
boxing
like,
club.
yeah. So now we were telling earlier, there's some kids suffered because of what
Damn
you
Bob
said.
Hanna.
Oh, good.
Great
For
story.
many years, I thought of the guy, whoever I was racing with at the time. When I was running in 10 miles or whatever, and I'm going up the uphill, I was always thinking about the guy. He just gave me motivation. And you think about if you got a friend out there, if I got my buddy Jeff Hicks out there in front of me, or Savitsky, or somebody I liked in those days, and I catch them, and they don't even know it's me, but they're roadblocking me, and I go, how I had to babysit to go around them. I don't want to bump them. I don't want to go under them. I'm screaming at them, get the hell out of the way, And it makes it a lot easier if you don't like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you talked a little bit about.
I did not like the guys that are under me. You say Mark Ashworth. Shit, I love guys like Mark Ashworth. But the guys you're racing, the top 5 guys that are taking money out of your pocket, or the top 10. Say 10 guys in the factory guys in the main event in the Supercross. You can't. I like them off the track just fine, but I don't like them. You can't like them. It makes it a lot more difficult.
For sure.
How would you have survived, Bob?
That problem.
How would you have trained like that?
What's
like
that?
the way these guys train now, like when they go down,
Yeah,
and
they're
there's
all
like
buddies
4 or
training
5
at the
guys.
same place.
Like it just wasn't quite like that back in your day. I know we're getting get off my lawn, but like this is. I mean, it's interesting to me.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, Tripe's always had that. Tripe's he had to keep you a little bit distance to race with you. When we got to be friendly, it was way harder for Tripes to beat up on me on the track. He couldn't differentiate being friends off the track and being enemies on the track, and it hurt him a little bit, you know. He tried to pretend he didn't like me, and even would act like he didn't like me when we really did like each other.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because he just couldn't do it. You know, he just, you know, Tripes is a good-hearted guy. You know, Tripes is a very good-hearted guy.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
it was tough for him to beat up on me when we were friends, you know.
Yeah. Well, so all right, let's switch gears for half a second. Kevin says this question right here is gonna.
No, I like this question. I definitely do.
But he says it's going to appeal to 3 people.
No, the BMX stuff is interesting to me, but go ahead.
Okay, so a guy sent in a question, and he was our Georgia kind of BMX commissioner guy. He worked with all the track directors around here, but he wants to know about the 1970s at a place called Bums and Soledad Sands. And he sent a picture of you jumping some Stingray or something.
I think he's got 2 places.
He wrote 2 different places, maybe.
Right, he has 2 different places. Now, Soledad Sands, I raced a lot, and it's a real downhill track. And if you're a good rider, if nothing happens, if I don't fall or somebody take me out, I can win there every week because it's a nasty downhill track. Now, Bums is a different deal. Bums I only went to 1 time in my life.
Okay.
And a guy named Scott Bree Hop, I think is how you say it. Bry Hop was just a bicycle racer at the time. His dad owned that track, and it was a state championship, and it's a chicken shit little, like modern-day bicycle motocross track built in a field, and it's flat with man-made shit in it. And
May 23rd, 1974.
Yeah, somebody knocked me off, and Scott actually won it, and he owned the track, and that was his claim to fame. But if it had been on a real downhill track, a real good gnarly one, I could win every week. There's no contest.
That only makes sense because you're gnarly as shit.
Tracks,
the more technical
track like that, no. Yeah, I wouldn't be guaranteed to win at all on a little track like Bums because I could have got beat with any little problem. We went down there, my friend and I went down there that day. I'd never been to L.A., I don't think. It was in Long Beach. And my neighbor took me down there on his Volkswagen bus. We tied my Stingray on the back of his Volkswagen Bug, not a bus, Bug.
Yeah.
And we drove down it because he knew Long Beach. And I raced that race. And then we came home, but Bryhoff beat me that day. And as he said later at the end of the year, I trashed Hannah that day. I was thinking, oh, you lucky sucker, shit.
Man, so this same guy sent a flyer I think it's for the same race. It says Memorial Day Western State Championship, May 23rd, 1974, NBA Bicycle Motocross, Soledad Sands. And it says $5 show up money. And it's got a list of riders, and Robert Hanna is one of them. It's got Scott Brythop. It's got Haystack.
So what does that mean? $5 if you show up automatic,
have to race,
and
but
you get
you're going to get
$5.
a free $5.
Yeah,
I've got the flyer.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's a true deal. He put that in the paper. He said, if you guys will show up at my race, I'll pay you $5 a piece. And I went, but isn't that funny? $5?
$5, man.
I'll have to send you this flyer. I'll get it from John.
Bobby
and
Encinas is there.
I've seen him on.
Okay.
We got free entry and $5 in our pocket to come there and race.
Before you're already $5 in the black before you even drop the gate, dude.
$5 show money right off the bat. How long did you defer
you don't
that?
win anything.
Yeah.
How long did you get them to defer that $5 for there?
87.
I told him, I'll take the $5. You defer it over the next 3 years with 10%, and we got a deal.
He just
made
100%.
He just got the last check last year. It turned it was 10% interest. It was
yeah, if you've ever heard of Bobby
man.
Bonilla, he deferred for like 20 years.
Yeah, Bob turned that $5 to $127,000.
Hey, so you're like, everybody talks about Jeremy McGrath and his BMX background. Like, I don't think you get enough love for your BMX background. You're the first kind of guy I guess everybody probably had some BMX. If you rode dirt bikes, you rode BMX before that.
Yeah.
A lot of, at least I did.
What was was I don't know Jeremy McGrath's bicycle background myself, but he did it a lot?
Yeah. He went back and what was that race that just happened? The Dirty something that just happened last
It's
week.
like a reunion of every factory rider. I mean, Shan Hatfield, Gary Ellis.
This was
Greg
in
Hill,
California.
all the recent.
And it's an old school looking event, but yeah, they just went back and had a full blown BMX race. But yeah, I think it's 10 plus years after you guys were doing it. It looked a little bit different than probably what you experienced. I just don't understand how BMX, or I can't see BMX transferring because I think technical whenever I think BMX. And when I see Bob Hanna on a supercross track, I don't quite think technical. So you and a BMX, and when you said you hauled ass on a downhill track, now I could see that. Just big ass balls and.
No, I would have hated. It's a good thing I didn't go bicycle racing because when I did it, I could kick ass, but I was riding the downhill ones, and
yes,
I would have really hated riding those flat things that they actually went to right after I quit. They all went to the, build them into cities and and in a field or something, and I wouldn't have liked that at all. I wouldn't have been into that. Still not. If it had a big downhill one at Mammoth Mountain, yeah, I'm into riding that.
Yeah.
The kamikaze.
But yeah, I'm not into that flat crap. I go to one of Todd Huffman. He has one called Frogtown out in California, Northern California, or Central California.
Yeah.
Well, I go there and I watch it, but the track doesn't. I mean, it's a little bit downhill, but it's still a man-made little turd track. And I go, this doesn't interest me at all. I mean, an 8-year-old can ride it. A 3-year-old can ride the track. So how technical could it possibly be?
Right.
Fair enough.
It's just not a real race to me. It's just like
who's got the biggest legs and pedal their balls off.
Yeah, if you get the spin and you get the whole shot, you just coast around, you win it, and that doesn't turn me on really.
45 seconds worth of intensity, yeah. Hey, Bob. So when I sat beside you at the International Motocross Museum fundraiser deal, one of your stories was, of course, the '87 Unadilla Motocross to Nations. I mean, you are 11 years after your 125 championship, and they're like, hey, let's put you on the 125.
Yeah, tell me how that whole conversation, how they approached you. Did you turn them away?
It didn't go big. It didn't go big with me. First of all, the AMA wanted to put me in that race, and so did the promoter of Unadilla. And he's a big fan of mine anyway. And Ward Robinson, and I love Ward Robinson. Mm-hmm. He died a couple of years ago, now. And Ward Robinson was a good friend of mine. He's a damn farmer that ran a motocross race, and he's a good guy. And he wanted me there, obviously, because I draw a crowd for him and all that. And he likes me, and he wanted me there. And Ward, I told the AMA, I go, put Wardy on the damn 125 because he's excellent on the 125. Johnson, he rides 250, so put him in there. Put Johnson in the 500, put Wardy on the 125, me on the 250, because that's really the only bike I have to ride at Suzuki. And Wardy wouldn't do it. Wardy said, screw that, I'm riding the 500, because he was riding the 500s. He didn't want to ride. Nobody wanted anything to do with that 125, because you're going to be a damn scapegoat. And I was a scapegoat. I was not very happy. I told Suzuki, forget it, I'm not going. And they said, you're going. We want you to go there. In that race, that's a big deal for us. And I told again, here we go again. I have to pull some power on the damn thing. I go, I'll go under one circumstance. Bring 2 works bikes, real one from Japan. Bring them 2. Give me a mechanic for 30 days prior. I'm taking them to Idaho. I'm taking one of the bikes with me, and you get my mechanic to work on the other one and get it ready. And I'm going, and you're not going to talk to me for 30 days. I'm not talking to you guys. And I did. I went to Idaho with that bike. I even raced a little race on it up there. I rode it every day. I ran the same 12-mile trail every day in the hills up to 8,500 feet. I remember I got 21 straight days running on that trail. It was one of my favorite ones. And I trained the whole damn time before Unadilla. Everybody hated me. Roger was running the team. Wardy, Johnson were throwing me under the bus because I wouldn't go train with them and all this bullshit. I'm not a team player, blah, blah, blah. They were saying all sorts of shit. And I told Roger, you want me to win the son of a bitch? Or do you want me to come and play tiddlywinks with Wardy and Johnson? Do you want me to go over there and grab ass for those 2 bastards? I don't know what you want. If you want me to win, I'll show up at the race ready, okay? That's all I can tell you, Roger. And Roger wasn't very happy with me either. Roger and I were friends, but he wasn't very happy with me. He wanted me to play grab ass for those two morons, and that isn't what I wasn't going to win if I was going to do that.
Nope.
You know.
You showed up you showed up and showed out.
I was ready, and I swear I got. I'm not taking any of the credit. I go, geez, when that race was over, I swear to God, it was the biggest relief for me because I was a scapegoat. I was going to be the guy to lose the race for America, and I was on a 125, and I wasn't very happy about it. I said, I am a scapegoat today. So when it was over and I won, I was going, I couldn't tell you how happy I was.
Oh, man.
You had to play it cool though and be like,
I knew Wardy and Johnson are going to do good shit. Ward's riding the 500, fastest guy in America in the 500, and Johnson's the fastest guy in the damn universe, right? So I know who is going to get their ass kicked. It's going to be me, right? And then Unadilla has to rain like a bitch, which I like Unadilla in the rain. Only Brummer is. Those damn Europeans are very good in the mud, and as good as I am in the mud, I'm not as good as them. And that was a disadvantage to me being muddy. I swear it was, because those bastards are good in the mud. I mean, they had a lot more experience in the mud, and I'm not as good as them, you know?
Yeah. Well, that day
I don't
didn't
mind
matter.
the mud. I like the mud, and if it was only Americans in the race, I would like it muddy because I have an advantage. In the mud with a European, you do not have an advantage. They're damn good in the mud, you know.
So did you put it to one of them podium girls that night, or how do we finish up strong? Or
well, let me. I don't really remember the podium.
Okay.
That day in '87, we'd have to. I think maybe I don't remember for sure.
We're gonna say yes.
That's probably a safe answer.
Yes.
I think we had a blonde trophy girl up there on the podium that year, the same one we had at the GP before.
Right.
So she knew her way around.
So she knew you.
Yeah,
she was aware.
Robert
She knew
Hanna.
her way around. I can tell you that story if you want to hear it. But
Sure.
Come on. Do you think we don't?
It's not R-rated even. It's not R-rated even. Okay, so the girl there's a great picture of her somewhere. And there's a great picture of this. I have one of them. And so we go up in '86. I won the GP. I shouldn't have won the GP. There was quite a few races at Unadilla I didn't win that I should have won.
This is the gas tank with Johnny O.
Right. The GP I won, but I shouldn't have won. You know, I was really ready for the race, but I truly didn't have the horsepower to win the race. Johnny O was going to beat me. And I thought he was going to beat, and I still thought I could pull it off. As egotistical as I am, I still thought I could beat him, but I could pass him, and he would just pass me down the straightaway every time back, and I just pulling my hair out. So he had my ass beat. You know, he should have won. And he runs it out. Johnny uses a lot more gas than me because he rides different than me. I run in the corner in a little lower gear, and I use the throttle to come out. I only touch the clutch once. And Johnny runs the clutch all the time. He uses the throttle wide open. He uses the clutch for everything, all hooking up the rear end. He uses the clutch. I use the throttle. And so he burns. We knew that anyway. And in the Honda days, he couldn't run a peanut tank in the Supercross because he burned too much gas. So he burns a lot more gas than me. And it didn't work out that well on that day. It was kind of it were long lap times, you know, and you're 45 minutes plus 2 or whatever, 40 plus 2, and there were long lap times. Well, he ran out on the last lap. I didn't see him when I went by him. So when I went around, I come in and they're giving me the flag, and I'm going, what the hell's going on here? There was a picture of that too, and I'm like in amazement. I'm going, why are they looking at me like I won this? I didn't win this. Well, I didn't know he ran out of gas down the hill, and I never saw him when I went by.
Dang.
So anyway, we're on the trophy presentation, and we've got the blonde up there. I've got a blonde on my shoulders as usual. I pick up the trophy girl because I like it, and we're all talking, and Myers is up there talking, and Johnny O's hand me a gas tank, blah, blah, blah. And I'm talking to the girl that's on my shoulder. I go, how old are you anyway? And she goes, 17. I go, oh, Jesus. I go, okay. So I was a very nice guy.
I'll see you next year.
So next year, no shit, I remember her. She's the same trophy girl the next year. And it's so damn funny. I recognize her. And she's just a cute little curly hair blonde thing. It must have been friend of Ward Robinson or something. And I got a picture of her on my shoulders and Ward Robinson next to me, and he's laughing like he's got the biggest damn laugh. The picture's out there somewhere. I shouldn't say I have it. I've seen it, and the picture's out there. Ward is laughing. I mean, Ward was a pretty serious guy. You don't see him laugh that much, and he has a beer in his hand. The race is over. He had a good day, I'm sure, and he is laughing. I got this trophy girl on my shoulders. Myers is there. I think O'Mara's in the shot, and they are laughing their ass off. But in '87 at the trophy race, same girl. I reach under, I stick my head under, I pick her up on my shoulders, and we got her up there, and we're giving trophies out and all like that. And I talk to the girl. I go, "Hey, didn't you turn 18 this year?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I grabbed her and I spun her around on my shoulders. I go, "Good." So I got a picture. I've got a picture in my hanger here with her turned around backwards on my.
Yes.
Because she was 18.
18.
No problem. She's 18.
No problem.
Signed a waiver.
Less with lawsuits.
Yeah, I mean, if we had the World GP in Saudi Arabia or whatever, you could have a 12-year-old on your shoulders, but not over here. It's just not right.
No.
Yeah, we're definitely. Hey, man, Larry Myers, man, he was more than just a good race announcer. Like, he was so dialed in with you guys. Like, he reminds me of like a beat reporter that like traveled with the Yankees. He was one of the guys. Like, tell me, because I did a little bit of announcing with him, and he was one of my favorites. He was just the coolest of the cool.
Myers is the greatest. Absolutely good friend of mine. I still talk to him a lot, and he was a really, really good guy. A really good guy. And the first day I met him, he hated me. The first day I really didn't do a very good impression with him, and it was in 1976. And but after that, we got to be good friends, and really, really good friends. And he's a wonderful human being. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, he was your High Point guy, and your eventually HRP.
He worked for Penton, and he did John Penton. He ran John Penton's High Point overall manager for East and West Coast, and until he went to Moto World, the Moto World show.
Yeah, which that's when you probably crossed his path, right, Kevin? I mean,
yeah, Chet Burke's Productions and whatever they produced all that stuff too.
Oh, before that,
yeah.
Who was it? Who was the Moto World guy?
Lou
Seals.
Lou Seals.
Lou Seals, yeah.
Yep. He's about to start that up.
He went down there to do Moto World for Lou Seals. Yeah.
And in fact, Motor World is coming back. Lou Seals is.
It is.
Yeah, he's got
trying.
all kind of stuff on Facebook of how they brought it back together. So I'm interested to kind of see what it actually looks
And
like.
it's Lou Seals doing it.
Yep.
Oh, good for him. I wondered where he went. I didn't know where Lou went. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah, he started hard something. There's a couple of different TV like cable TV channels that he started. So he's been talking about this for about a year. So yeah, you have to reach out to him on Facebook or something. I don't know. Are you on social media at all?
I'm not on shit. I hardly use. It's hard to get me on the phone.
Yeah, you didn't respond to my text, so I said I'm going to go old school, man. I'm just going to call this dude.
I saw it probably. I've just been busy. I would have got back to you on that, but.
And you didn't know about the KD80.
Yeah, that's probably a big deal breaker.
I'm glad I didn't know about that.
I like that Hannah knows what a KD80 is. That's terrible.
That's terrible.
That's terrible.
They're awful. Hey, what was your favorite bike?
I'll tell you what, it was a lot better than my first one, my little Honda 55 that I rode, the toilet tanker.
Step through, man.
There you go. You knew.
Step
My dad
through
made it
Honda.
into a mini. I still have that bike. My dad made it into he took the tank off, the seat off. We put a moped tank on it, and he put a banana seat on it and made it into a mini bike, and I have it in my kitchen right now.
Hey, how many? Yeah, speaking of that,
cool.
what do you have from your days of racing? Helmets and gear, bikes. What do you have? What have you kept?
Very little. Now understand, every trophy, 95% of the trophies I won, I gave away at the trophy presentation that day to some kid.
Very cool.
That is awesome.
I would see a kid. I would point at a kid in there. I would always pick a kid out in the crowd right there, right in front of me. I'd be looking at everybody.
One of Marty Smith's fans.
I'd pick a kid out, that I
or Tripes.
Yeah, I'd pick a Marty Smith fan out, and I'd go, I'm going to turn that little son of a bitch into a Bob Hannah fan right here, right?
Right now.
And so I give him the trophy, and I get a picture with him and all that crap. So I gave 95% of them away. I did keep very few, 4 or 5 silver cups that were given away in Europe or or here or some odd places that were really nice trophies. I think I have 4 or 5 silver trophies, and that's about it. I gave them all away. I gave every jersey, every helmet, every pair of pants. I mean, there's guys that have my pants. There's a guy in South Carolina down there with my pants that say "Trouble" on them. You ever
Yeah, I've seen them.
Trouble.
I've seen them at races
I gave
before.
them to a guy named Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson. He's a tomato farmer in South Carolina. He owns them to this day.
Yep.
And I gave everything away. So I do have a helmet, some helmets. Maybe 15 helmets. But they're all over. I've been collecting them back. People are going, "Hey, I have this helmet. You want it back?" I go, "Yeah, give it back to me if you got it in your garage."
That's cool.
And some of the son of bitches, most of them sell them to somebody,
Yeah.
The good guys that I gave them to, then they go sell them like they're whores for money, I guess. I don't know. But Terry Good has some of the helmets, and I've got some helmets. But I have my first bike that my dad built me in my kitchen, and I have 4 or 5 trophies of the silver, of real silver. And I have some helmets. That's all I have.
Well, that's still good. I mean,
I got my dad's high point boots right here in my office. I'm in my office right now. I'm looking at my dad. My dad wore high point boots every day, all day long. Meyer sponsored him, and I got his last pair of high point boots sitting right over here looking at me right now. And he rode a bullet bike till he was 83 years old, and he wore them on the street on the bullet bike. He wore them all day long.
Wow.
He just put them on in the morning. That's what he wore for shoes.
You could break those in, though, and they
always
felt like shoes, right? I mean, eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a little, they're kind of enduro high point boots. They're the same as the motocross, except they have tread on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
And so he wore those all the time, and he would tell people, they go, "What are those boots you wearing?" Because he'd tuck his pants into them, and he goes, "See that steel plate?" He goes, "Those are snake boots."
That rattlesnake hit this, it'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly. He goes, "These are snake boots. I wear snake boots."
How involved was your dad with you in terms of like your early years of racing and all that? He wasn't.
My dad kept me out of racing because my dad was paranoid of me getting. I probably tortured him in my bicycle career because I was absolutely. When I think about it, I should have never been alive just off my bicycle career
Wow.
alone. We did crazy shit, right? I had bikes. I had those Stingrays. We towed them to 80 miles an hour. On a street bike, we tow them right down my street at 80 miles an hour, and there's big gravel on the side of the road, and we just flick them sideways to stop them and just blow gravel everywhere, right? No brakes from 80 miles an hour. Try that.
No, I'm not going to try that.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Oh, no. I towed to 80 miles an hour. I've been over 80 miles an hour on I coasted all the passes in California because my dad and I went everywhere. We'll get back on the subject of how he was, but he watched me ride bicycles for years, and I scared the shit out of him. So my dad was very conservative there. If he took my Honda away one day when I first got it when I was 7 for doing 40 miles an hour, he goes, "How fast are you coming down that road?" And I think I lied, but he goes, "Too fast, because put it up." Because I remember I got it up to 40, and I go, "Oh, that's pretty fast, 40 miles an hour."
7.
But I'm coming down the road. He didn't even like me going down the road at 7 years old at 40 mile an hour down this dirt road. He didn't like it, two-track. And he took it away because my old man didn't want me getting hurt. He's paranoid about me getting hurt. And so I never raced a motorcycle while I lived at home. When I got out of high school, almost probably 2 weeks out of high school, I wasn't living at home. Then I raced a motorcycle for the first time.
Wow.
And
What?
just because some guy kind of dared me to do it,
So tell me, how long from the first race to your first win? Give me 2 years, 3 years?
Probably 1 year.
First big win, you mean? A factory?
Yeah, big win.
Big win. Well, I first race was July of 74. By July of 75, and
He's the 76,
exactly
125
1 year later, from July of 74, I raced. I can tell you exactly. I raced 12 races on a CZ, 12 weekends straight, and we realized the CZ wasn't going to work. I could win some local races, expert class, but we knew that not enough bike. It was a 72 CZ, I think, or 74. And then we said, I got to get a new bike. So I quit racing. I rode 12 weekends, so August, September, October, and then I was a welder, and I started welding that week again. I could get a job in LA, so he asked me, "Do you want to come down to LA and continue racing this bike, see if you can go somewhere?" And I go, "Yeah, let's do it. Why not? I got a job waiting at home. I don't need to go back there. It'll wait for me." And so I go down, I race the CZ 12 times. We know it's not good enough bike, so I go, I got to get a new bike. So I decided to buy one of the new Huskies, GP Hiking Mikula replica. It'll be there in January. So I just welded and I saved my money. I didn't do any racing.
Where'd you weld at?
For a couple of months. I welded for a J&R Expansion Chambers at the time. I welded for Bassani and J&R Expansion Chambers, who actually made pipes for like DG. You know, remember DG?
Yeah, of course.
I made many DG pipes for their company. You know. And so I saved my money till January of 75. So I'd been racing I'd raced 12 times after July 7th. And then I got that Husky, and I started riding that Husky. And I won a couple of big CMC events on that Husky with guys like Rex Staten and the boys there, you know. And then I got a ride with DG. And, well, actually, first, Suzuki, a couple of big days in my career, big days that could have been catastrophic, right? And one of them was when that Husky came in. They called me, and they said, "Hey, that Husky's in. Do you still want it?" And I go, "I'm in a phone booth." They said, "Call." And I'm in a phone booth. I don't even know if I had a phone. I was renting a room with four other guys. We were renting a house for 5 guys, $50 a month. And I said, "Let me think about it. Let me hang up. I'll call you back in 5 minutes." I'm sitting in that phone booth deciding whether I should just give this shit up or go on.
Wow.
And I go, "Man, you never go anywhere if you don't try." I go, so I called the guy back. I said, "I'll take that Husky." He goes, "When are you going to pick it up?" I go, "I don't know. I don't have a car, so I'm going to try to get a ride up there. I'll pick it up in the next day or so." So I got a ride up there. We went up. I think it cost $1,610, and I had $1,700 in the bank.
Wow.
And I didn't own a car. I didn't own anything. I didn't own anything but the shoes I had on. I can tell you what I spent on food per week was $15 a week at that time because I was saving all my money. When I ran out of food, I shopped at Ralph's one time a week when I was welding. And when I ran out of food, I stole avocados out of the orchard out back of this house. There's a big orchard of avocados. I'd go out there and find them on the ground or pick them and put them in different places in the house so they'd ripen at different times, and I'd eat avocado.
That's incredible, dude.
So I lived believe it or not, $15 a week. When I ran out of food, I was out of food. And so, where are we getting back to? So I got that Husky. I won a couple of CMC events. I won some Saturday events. But the next pivotal day was Suzuki brought some new RMs. They brought like 21 RMs to the track, 250s and 125s, in box fans, big box fans, and 20 Japanese guys there. They weren't announced. They weren't unannounced. Nobody knew they were bringing them out or anything. They had the good RMs, 125s, 250s. I think they even had some 370s that day. I can't swear to that. I know they did the next weekend, but they brought 21 out, and they just said anybody can sign up for them. They want guys in the beginner, the intermediate, the expert, and novice or whatever. Novice and intermediate and expert. So there was a guy at it's a Saddleback, and I'm over there messing around with my Husky, and the guy comes up to me named Marcel Delay. And Marcel is a fabulous guy out of Belgium. He knew Roger DeCoster. He was friends with Roger. And I'd been talking to him at the races for months. And his boy was racing. And Marcel really liked me. And he would always tell me Roger DeCoster stories because he used to watch him in the GPs. And he knew him personally. Marcel goes, "Hey, did you get one of those Suzukis?" I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "They got a bunch of Suzukis over there. They're going to let guys ride today." And I go, "No, I don't know anything about it." He goes, "Get over there and tell them you want to ride one." So I go over there and I talk to the Japanese guy who later, years later I become friends with. I think his name was Saku. He actually worked for Roger at one time.
Hmm.
And I go, hey, can I ride one of those bikes? He goes, no, we're full. You know, obviously, you're going to give 21 bikes away. They're going to sign up in, 2 minutes?
Right.
You know? Any idiot could sign up. They didn't know who they were signing up. They wanted people to ride them and get feedback. So I walked back over to my truck. I didn't argue with him. I said, he goes, you get one? I go, no, they don't have any. They said they're full. He goes, bullshit. He strutted over there, and he goes, are you guys idiots? He goes, you put this kid on one, he's going to win here. Now, this is a big CMC day, and Marty Smith and Croft and Mosier and all these guys are out there. Marty Smith and Croft are on factory Hondas this day. So they yanked somebody off. I guess they knew this. I mean, he knew Roger DeCoster. I mean, they knew who he was, and he said that he talked him out of me. They put me on a 125. And I got third that day behind Smith and Croft, which that's like winning, because you're not going to beat Smith and Croft on their Hondas. You're not going to beat them. I don't care who you are. And so they were pumped. And Jeff Jennings, another guy, local guy, he did good on a 250 that day. I don't know how good, but he did good enough that they liked it.
Yep.
And they asked Jeff Jennings and myself, only two of us out of the 21, do you guys want to race Carlsbad next weekend on these? And I said, hell yeah. I go, well, I've got to take my Husky because I need the money. So they said, oh, no problem. You can ride your Husky in the 250 and you ride our 125 in the 125 class. I go, awesome. So that was the first time anybody had ever got me a hotel room or anything. That was in the probably, I'm going to say August of 75. And that was a pivotal day, me getting on that Suzuki, because Tosh Koyama, after Carlsbad, I got third again behind Marty and Croft. I wouldn't. Billy Grossi was riding down there on one of them. They brought Billy and Tony out that day and made them ride them too. And Billy would have smoked my ass. He passed me on the downhill like I was going backwards.
Wow.
And I can remember it vividly. But he broke a rear hub, so he didn't finish. So I got third. And then Tosh said, here, take my card. I'm going to keep in touch with you. We want you to ride these bikes in the future if you want to. And I go, hell yeah, I want to ride them. So I bugged him every week. I go, I'm welding still. So no, I'm off. I'm off on the date. I'm still welding at the time. This is prior to July 7th of 75, 1 year later.
Okay.
So this is June or something we're talking. So in early July, I keep bothering Tosh, and he says, okay, we're ready. Come over for a meeting. We want to talk to you. I went over to a meeting, and I quit welding on 1 year to the date that I started welding down there, which was probably July 9th or 10th or something. I quit 1 year, and I said, I'm going motorcycle racing, hell or high water. I'm just going to race bikes. But Suzuki would pay me $800 a month and give me a van and all the bikes and parts. I wanted to run those new RMs. They weren't selling them yet even. They wanted me to, put them around Southern California and all the races.
Yep.
So I raced those for a few months until on and off a little bit. I rode a DG bike once in a while, but I rode those Suzukis until about Terry Good and I figured out the date. Terry figured out the date that they fired me. The guy that owned DG, Gary Harlow, late, like about end of October, early November, said, hey, I think the guys at Yamaha want you to ride for them. A factory ride. I've talked to them about it. You want a meeting with them? And I go, yeah. So I went with Gary to Yamaha and met with Pete Schicken, the president over there, a guy named Mel Calloway. And they offered me a ride. They said, we'll give you $1,000 a month and the works bike and your full team ride, full factory ride, And I go, I'll get back to you. I didn't really want to go over there. I wanted to ride Suzuki. So I go back to Suzuki the next day. I go to Shigenoya, the boss of the U.S. I go, hey, I want to ride factory races next year. I don't want to ride local. And he goes, no. He goes, I want you to ride local a couple more years. I go, that's bullshit. I'm bored. And I'd already got in trouble from letting everybody go on the starting line and passing everybody. I was pissed off that I was bored. I won every race on the Suzuki, but on one moto, the bike broke. I won every moto for a few months. They really, I really just mended with those bikes. They were really good. And I liked them, you know. I rode them a lot better than I did the Husky. And I said, I want to ride the factory. He said, no. I said, okay, I'll tell you what. Yamaha, I had a meeting there yesterday. They said they'll give me a factory ride, pay me $1,000 a month, and give me a factory ride. And he goes, he asked me, do you think you can win on those bikes? He didn't have much. He didn't have much faith in Yamaha. He goes, do you think you can win on one of those? I go, I don't know, but I want to race nationals. I don't know if I can win on them. He goes, can you beat our guys? And I go, no. Tony and Grassi and Stackable. I go, no, I can't. Not at this time.
Yeah.
I go, someday. And he goes, no, I don't want you on the nationals. And so he comes out later. I'm working on my bikes out back. Because every week I did the same thing. I worked on my bikes Monday through Thursday. I loaded them up Thursday night, 250 and 370, and I took off Thursday. I went to the desert. I rode with my dad on Friday. He rode one of the Suzukis, and I rode the other one. We played in the hills. Saturday morning, I was back at Saddleback. I'd race 40-minute motos there on Saturday, and then I'd go wherever the big money was on Sunday, wherever in Southern California. They always had a big money race. So I was ready to leave on Thursday. Well, anyway, just a little bit prior, early in the day, Shiggy came out. I told him about the Yamaha deal. He came out and said, hey, I called Yamaha. He said, they'd never heard of you. They don't know what you're talking about. I said, what? He said, they don't know anything about offering you a ride. So he thought I was lying to him. He learned to know me later, but at this time he didn't know me. I was a kid, and he thought he just looked right at me and basically said, I guess you're lying to me. And I told him, I go, well, I'm not lying to you, Shiggy. I go, I don't know what's going on here, but they offered me that yesterday morning.
Yeah.
And so the next morning, this is a Wednesday. The next morning, Thursday, I go to Yamaha, I sign it. And because he said screw off.
Yeah.
So Thursday afternoon, I'm going to leave Suzuki, and a guy named Hide comes out there who works here. He comes out, and man, I thought he was going to fist fight. He was so pissed, red in the face. He goes, did you just sign a contract with Yamaha? I go, yeah. And man, I was watching him. I think this guy's going to swing. He is pissed. He goes, get the hell off this property. Leave everything and get off. He hand walked me to the street.
Wow, man.
He hand walked me outside the fence.
Oh my God.
And I was done. He left all my shit in there. I remember because he had given me a couple of new wheels. I was a test rider anyway, and he gave me a couple new wheels to put on the bike. And right at the last moment, I didn't put them on. I said, "Bullshit! I ain't putting these on." To myself, I said, "I'm not putting these on for this weekend. I'll put them on next weekend." And he looked at. He goes, "You didn't put those wheels on that bike?" And he was so pissed. I remember him. He was just irritated. I go, "No, I didn't put them on." And he walked me off that property. He was damn pissed. You know?
Dude, I like that. Your time schedule just blows me away. Like you said, yeah, I raced 12 times and I'm getting offers. Like, what in the hell? Was it just that wild, the wild, wild west where like you could get a ride that quick?
I was no good. No, I was not good enough in 12 weeks. I was good enough to realize, like, you know, that I could ride local races if I had a good bike. Then I got the Husky and I rode it for 7 months.
I know, but wait, Bob, you're saying local to you is like some of the baddest
like
dudes.
national,
They're badass dudes are hanging out there, so you're like in the mix immediately.
Oh, yeah.
It just blows my mind. I guess you were adapting so damn quick.
Well, I rode intermediate one weekend. I rode expert the next weekend.
Of course.
So I was in the money races the next weekend. But the next weekend, like I got fourth, and I got, you know, I'd get fourth or fifth, and then I'd win one on the CZ on a Saturday maybe, but Saddleback. But I couldn't beat Mosier or Weinert or Semix or somebody like that on even the Husky. One big one I did beat everybody on the Husky. One day with DeSoto and Rex Staten and Mosier there and Semix there, I beat him once. I remember I was still welding because I went to the welding shop the next morning and they said, "Hey, I heard you won this weekend." I go, "Yeah." And they go, "Why do you work here?" And I go, "Because I can't count it." They go, "How much money did you make this weekend?" I said, $500 or something. They go, "Why do you work here for $150 a week?" And I go, "Because I can't count on it." I go, "I was starved. I mean, I may not win for 4 weeks. I don't know. You know, I won, but I can't say I'll win next weekend." They go, "Oh," and I go, "No, I can't say I'll win." So when I quit welding, I went with DG for a little bit of a tour. I didn't have any money when I quit welding. I had about I sold that Husky, and I had I don't know $500-600 in the bank or $1,000 in the bank, and I was eating. I was hand to mouth for for weeks.
Yeah.
I would lose. If I didn't win, I wouldn't have any money, and my mechanic would loan me money. And when I won, I paid him back. But I wasn't making big money until I got on those Suzukis. And when I got on those Suzukis, I made a couple grand a month consistently. And then till I went to the Yamaha, and then obviously I didn't get paid much. I got paid $1,000. I was getting paid $800 to race local and $1,000 to go nationals. But Yamaha did something funny. When Suzuki kicked me off the property, I think we're going to write about this story. I think Terry Good, we're going to write this story for his website on his museum website. We're going to write this story. I'm telling you, but Thursday they booted my ass off the property. I had to get a ride home. I don't even know how I got a ride home. I got somebody to pick me up. And Friday morning, I call Yamaha. I go, hey, these son of a bitches fired me yesterday. They go, really? And I go, yeah, and I want to go to Valley Cycle Park. They got a big $2,000 purse Sunday. And they go, you know what? You show up at the race. I go, I want 2 bikes. Can I get 2 bikes? They go, we'll have you a 125 and a 250 there with a mechanic, with a van. All you do show up.
Sweet.
And I said, all right. So I show up, and a guy named Don Dudek, I don't remember if you know him, but I think he worked for Ricky one year, first year, 76. And Don Dudek, which is a wild man at Yamaha, he shows up with a van. Him and his girlfriend were there. He kept the bikes up. I had a Pierre Cars Maker 250 right off from under him, when he quit racing in the Nationals. And I had a Tim Hart 125 works bike. They were both works bikes. They were both fantastic, really light, fast bikes, really nice bikes. And I won both motos, all the motos that day on the Yamaha. I was like, oh, these are nice. These are really good bikes. They were right off the National.
That
circuit.
really is
So
the
I
first
had
time you rode those? Was at the race?
First time I even got on.
That's cool,
dang.
man.
Never even been on a Yamaha. I didn't test the Yamaha before I signed nothing.
That is awesome.
I rode them on Sunday. I got fired on Thursday, rode them on Sunday.
Hell
And
yeah.
won.
What a debut.
Yes.
That is so awesome. So you
Yeah,
bas-
and Terry Good and I were bullshitting this. I talk to Terry a couple times a week. We talk a lot financial bullshit with him and some motocross, some old stuff because he likes old stuff. But we were trying to figure out the day I got fired, and he figured it out from an article on that first weekend on the Yamahas that says Hannah showed up with a couple of Yamahas to Valley Cycle Park, and I go, well, the day I got fired was the prior Thursday, so we know what day I got fired.
Yep.
He goes, yeah, you got fired on the 9th of October or something like that. And I go,
Nice.
no shit, so now we know what day I got fired. And yeah, it was a funny time.
Yeah.
God,
Wow.
you know Suzuki was kicking themselves like that, dude.
Some
They
dude got
delivered a
fired.
Well, they got
championship
pissed.
right then.
Yeah, they got pissed. They finally, even right away, they realized they screwed up because
Big problem.
they
Big
weren't
problem.
going to run a 125. They weren't going to run a 125 work spike in the Nationals. And they thought, and then all of a sudden, they hire Grossi, or they put Grossi in the 125 and hire Danny Laporte to beat me.
Huh.
And I go, man, if you're going to put those two guys in, you could have put me in there easy. But somebody must have got on Shigenoya and goes, man, you screwed up. You should have put him in there rather than let him go. And now you got to put 2 guys in there to try to kick his ass, and they didn't get it done,
Yeah, so he probably would. He goes back in, man. I showed that Hannah kid. I kicked him out, walked him to the street.
They used to have drawings of him hanging himself. That was the joke around Suzuki.
Shit.
They
That
put
is
some.
wild.
They put some. They drew him hanging himself in the bathroom or something.
Jesus, man, that's a rough crowd over there. They hired a samurai to come over there and kill him.
Oh, he was right out of World War II concentration camp. Shiggy was. I learned later years in '86. He hired me back, and after I quit, I was quitting when I quit Honda at '85. I was done, and Shiggy called me home and goes, "How would you? I know you're quitting. You don't want to race, but you want to ride. You want to do some testing for us and run back and forth to Japan for us." And he goes, "I really want you to do that." And I go, "I'll think about it." He goes, "Oh, I want you to think about it fast because I want you to come down here and tell me you're going to do it." I go, I'm going to Lake Mead tomorrow for a week, and then I'll tell you. He goes, no. I know you had an airplane. You fly your ass down here tomorrow, and I want to have a talk with you. So I go, all right, I'll come in there before I go over to Mead. So I flew down there, had a meeting with him, and he goes, but by then he knew that I was not full of shit, and I wasn't lying. I would say what I thought. But I enjoyed Shiggy, but he was he'd sit there and stare in your eye. I could see him right now. He's smoking a cigarette. He's got 2 fingers on the cigarette, and he's putting it in and out of his mouth. And he's puffing the cigarette, and he's staring in your eyes. He just looks right in your eyes. And he can tell if you're lying. I mean, if you're lying to him, he knew. He did not. He thought I was lying to him. He and I used to joke about it when he fired me. I go, you didn't believe me in those days, did you? And there were times. I remember times. We won't go into those stories, but because there's just too much bullshit. But there was a time when a magazine said something later in life, like in '87, that they said I said it and they were lying. And he asked me, "Did you say this about the bike?" And I said, "No, sir, I did not say that about the bike. That's Tom Webb lying. That's bullshit information, and I never said it." And I remember him looking into my eyes, trying to figure out if I'm lying. But he and I had a pretty good relationship then. But he was one serious individual, I could tell you that. He's like right out of the World War II concentration camp, Jap concentration camp. I'm telling you,
Pearl Harbor.
Very serious.
Yes.
So I guess it was kind of cool for you to kind of finish up and go full circle with your career with Suzuki.
Yeah, I don't know. To be frank,
no.
I don't know if I do it again because it was very difficult for me. You earlier asked me, and we never answered the question, what was the best bike and what was the worst
Circle
bike?
back to that.
The best bike, when I was young, I could ride anything, okay? When you're young, it doesn't matter how it's set up. You don't know. And if you're got gumption, you can ride it. And the older you get and the more sophisticated you get, the more particular you get. And me especially, I'm assuming everybody's like this, but I got very particular about my bike. I mean, if my bars are off on we built jigs to put my handlebars on. We built jigs. And the jig would go on the bike, and you could put the bar on. I didn't guess where I want to lean back on the bars. We jigged them because I was so friggin' crazy. I want the bars 31 3/4 wide, and then put the throttle on. I wanted them 32 with the throttle on, and I don't want them an 1/8 inch off.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm serious. I don't want the shit wrong. And I tested so much that I got overwhelmed that the bike had to be perfect. And that's really not good. But after riding the best bikes in the world, if you can't win on a Works Honda, I told the boys that before. I go, you need to go home.
Yep.
Because this bike is fantastic. I mean, if you can't win on this, you don't deserve a ride. And then I had to go to Suzuki, and they turned the production rule that year, and Suzuki took it literally. Suzuki said, it's a production rule, just ride that piece of shit that we got.
Here, take these.
And I go, you're serious, right? And I wasn't going to race Suzukis anymore. I was just going to test them. But when I was going back and forth to Japan, I told Shiki, I go, hey, I need to race. I hate to race. I don't want to race. But I need to race this thing to prove what I'm telling the Japanese to do. I need to know if it really works. I know I had a 21-man crew in Japan. And I need to race this thing. So I tell you what, you need to fund my program. I'm going to hire my own guy. I'm going to have my own tools, my own truck, my own everything. I hired Mick Andrews for the United States. And I go, I want full Japanese support in Europe. And I go, I'm going to tell you where I'm going. And to be frank, I went most places who would pay me. So I went for some. If I was there, they were paying me start money because I wouldn't ride. And
$5. It started on your BMX career.
Yes.
Right. I go, you give me $5 or I'm not coming. Right?
Deferred.
So I went to Paris Supercross to win money, but then I would go to the French Grand Prix to prove the bike. Not for the money, but I'd go to the French Grand Prix. I'd ride the French Grand Prix to prove the bike. And then I said, while we're in France to ride the GP, we're going to hit this Supercross because they got $38,000 there, and I want it.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we did. And then I would ride Southwick, Unadilla. I rode about 10 races a year in 86, 87, 88, and 89. I rode, and then I rode obviously in 87 the trophy race, not because I wanted to, because Suzuki forced me. And so it's difficult. It's difficult only to ride 10 races a year. Very difficult because you still have to train and stay in somewhat kind of shape or you're not going to do it. So that makes it more difficult. And now I tell you, the bike was giving me fits. In '86, it was a pile of shit. And Suzuki knew it. That's why they hired me. And we worked our asses off, and we got the bikes pretty darn good, to be frank. Some of the works bikes I were riding, but we couldn't bring them to the States to ride them, is why I would take them to Europe, because they couldn't be modified. So I would modify them for next year's production, and then we would make the production bike a little better. But it was a difficult 4 years for me. Really hard on me mentally, because I am not a guy. I don't like racing motocross. I don't like racing motorcycles. You got to understand that. I like winning.
Yes.
Okay? And I'd be really frank with you. I've told guys that I always wonder about these guys that race motorcycles, and then they go back and they race old timers and they race all the shit. And they go, why don't you ride? Why don't you ride? I go, what, are you out of your mind? When I raced Unadilla on that last lap, when I had 1 lap to go, I was talking to myself. I go, you have 1 lap to go. You never have to ride one of these pieces of shit again. That's what I said to myself. And I meant it, you know, because nobody understands. I've been riding for 15 years, 5 days a week. I don't party on the weekends. I work on the weekends. I don't party during the week. I don't see friends during the week. I work during the week. 15 years of my life on there, and I've got damn sore wrists and damn sore ankles, and I am beat to a pulp, right?
Yeah.
And it was time to quit. I really should have quit in '85 at Honda and not went to Suzuki and not even done that. And I'm not disappointed I did, but I'm going to go, you know, I'd been in Japan. I remember in Japan one day riding down a straightaway at 4th gear wide open, and that son of a bitch started swapping me, and it swapped me to a complete stop in the track. And I went, and I'm talking out loud. I'm yelling. I was talking out loud. I said, Hannah, you got to get another job.
Yes.
Because I was so pissed at myself.
Over it, man.
And then I'd work out of it, and then the next day I had a good day. And I had a good day, and it worked out right, you know, and we'd get something fixed or whatever. But I mean, it was the worst 4 years of my life. Certainly, the worst 4 years. I enjoy my life right now so much.
Talk about that.
I mean, my best years are right now. I don't even know I'm as old as I am. I have no frigging clue. You know, I ride my bike a lot. I lift weights, and I hunk. I'm 40 now.
He's 40.
That is awesome, though. I mean, that's a nice place to be, right? I mean, freaking
I'm 67,
feeling.
but I don't even know it. And when in the morning when I look in the mirror, I go, oh shit.
Yeah.
Man, you look bad.
You catch
But
a
if I don't
reflection
look
of
in the
yourself.
mirror- yeah, I got my 1 foot up on my desk right now, and I'm looking out the window, and I don't know right now that I'm not 30. You know, I've been sitting in this office for 34 years right here, this office.
So you're feeling good.
And I've been sitting in here for 34 years. I don't really, and believe it or not, you know, a couple of years after I quit racing, I woke up one morning and I go, wow, neither one of my wrists hurt. And I couldn't imagine it. I went, wow, isn't that nice? Because my wrists, you know, they were.
Where's
they were
Keith
beat
Bowen
up
at
and
when you
broken.
need him?
Yeah, exactly.
Come here.
And,
He just kicks you in the wrist for
and
no.
my wrists were so beat up. I go, they always ached, and they quit aching because I quit riding. And I go, wow, I don't have any pain in my wrist. So just sitting here, you know, my ankles are a little beat up, and then once in a while, and my knees, I pay attention to my knees. I don't trash them, and I don't trash them if I don't have to. But just sitting there, I'm in no pain, you know. And for a while there, when I quit racing, man, I was ankles and knees and wrists were bad shape. I was pretty sore.
Well, it's good that you feel good. I mean, you're sitting there saying you feel 30, 40, whatever. I mean, nobody says that at
That's
67.
a huge accomplishment in itself.
For sure.
Yeah.
Forget everything else.
If I get out of the gym or I get off the trainer for 3-4 days, I start to go to shit immediately.
Wow.
Like, you put me off of that. No hot tub, no riding, no lifting for 1 week. Oh my God. and then I pay the price. So
That's the
I got to
truth.
get back on it.
Yeah.
If I'm on the trainer every day and lifting weights, I feel pretty damn good. Occasionally, I hurt my knee. I hurt my knee on a ladder about 7 months ago, and I go, "What the hell? How did they do that up and down a 30-foot ladder about 30 times?" And I must have overdone it. Got a little cartilage screwed up in it, and it's taken about 7 months to get. I'm not 100%, but it took 7 months to get that sucker working. But the bicycle really, really good on your knees, and if I stay on that bicycle, I'm in pretty good shape. You know?
Yeah.
Hey, Bob.
I hunt with my dog. I mean, I climb. I'll go hunting with a chucker with a buddy of mine, Jeff Hicks. You probably know him. And we take our dogs out. Shit, we'll hike. We'll hunt. We'll climb 3,500 vertical feet hunting chucker with the dogs. You know, I mean, very steep country and climb 3,500 feet back down. And
that's awesome.
I'm not as good as I was when I was 40 doing that, but shit, I can still do it, and I don't feel that bad doing it. We go pretty good.
Yeah. Some of the guys you went to high school with can't even get off the couch these days.
Yeah, I'm sure you can look at some of the guys you raced with, even that age, because you're like, I'm feeling pretty good about looking in the mirror right now. Terry, what do you think about this?
Yeah,
You're naked looking at yourself.
Well, I don't really look at myself naked, but
Okay.
I'm feeling pretty good.
That's all we do.
That's all. We're naked right now. We're looking at
Yeah,
ourselves.
we're just looking at ourselves.
We got our,
Oh, wonderful.
yep.
I'll try to unsee that.
Sugar balls is naked.
Yes, exactly. Try to unsee it.
No, I can't complain. I can't complain about how. I mean, we could die tomorrow, but I really,
So you're saying you're in such good shape you could put that dress on you today and still fool all those people.
For a few minutes anyway.
That's right.
Well, they'd think I was an old whore, but and I might be a girl, but I'm an old whore.
They might be right. You
They'd
never
be
know.
even more excited.
Hey, what? Yeah, an old whore, even better.
I really didn't. I didn't look too good in it that day. I remember there's a few pictures of that around.
He's pretty fit, man.
Pretty gnarly.
I don't know. I'd hit it.
Hairy legs, you know. And they realized how much hair I had. On my
Yeah, so just think about all the guys
They
that-
were like, "Here comes Martina Navratilova."
I don't care. I would hit that. There are probably 1,100 people that probably have sex with Bob Hanna. They
Check
just,
out that bitch, man. She's hot.
oh shit, that's Bob Hanna. Am I gay? Like, how does this work now?
Yeah, am I gay now?
Yeah, you said
the guy that
like
threw the beer bottle.
yeah. You sent that dude home. He's been questioning himself ever since.
Yeah,
that
you
day.
probably.
He's had
like,
therapy
Man,
bills.
my life was all good.
Till Bob
till
Hanna turned me
Bob
gay.
Bob Hanna confused me that day.
So good.
Oh, they see me in that dress, it'd turn them gay. Ain't no doubt about it.
That's right. Exactly.
Bob, I know you. I know you won't. I don't think I'm going to get the answer I'm thinking I'm going to get. But like 1980, when you're skiing, like I know that impacted your career, obviously. So how do you just keep on rolling? Like you were moving. Like everything changes from
3
that point forward.
championships in a row, right?
Yeah.
76, 77, 78. Well, maybe 4.
4, I think you won 4 years in a row, right?
125 and then some
And some supercrosses and yeah.
Yeah, 70 into summer of '79, I broke that leg.
79. It's never wins again. Never wins a championship after that. He did 4 in a row, and that was
In '83, I should have, but I broke a wrist, and I had a 100-point lead in the Supercross and the Nationals when I broke that wrist. I had to sit out. I sat out 3 races. We're still in the championship lead in the Nationals, but I still had a chance to win it. We could have still won it when I went back. We'd taped the wrist up and I could still ride it. And I won the first moto. Like I go, we could still win this if we just win 3 out of the next 4 races. We'll win this sucker. And we go to Washougal. I win the first moto. I'm leading the second moto, and the damn gearbox breaks. I go, well, shit. So we go, you know what? We can still win it if we win the rest. We go to Millville, we go to Denver and to Millville or whatever. So we go to Denver, and the damn ignition quits. And I go, we're not going to win it. I go, it don't matter what we do now. We're not going to win it.
damn it.
And we go to
100-point lead, man.
Millville, and I go, I can win Millville easy, but it ain't going to help us. And I'm winning Millville, but at the time, I let Bailey win, and it was the day I let Bailey win, so I don't win Millville. But I mean, I won until the last lap, and then I go, well, I was asked to let him by, but no, I just
Wait, that's the second time you were asked to let him by, or not him, but like
Let
Brock.
somebody by, right?
No, I let Glover, then I let him, and then they asked me to let Lachine, and I don't remember.
Damn.
Lachine, I think I told him to pack sand. It wasn't going to matter that much, and I went away and won on a Honda. It was 85. They asked me if I would let Lachine buy, and I think I told him to pack sand because they screwed me out of the bonus when I let Bailey buy, and it pissed me off.
Yeah, that was your bonus.
Really? I go, I win. I can win the race. I let Bailey buy. You don't pay me the bonus. You pay him the bonus. I go, shit. Yeah, that's company policy. The Japanese guy told me. I go, yeah. Well, you could, where you could shove that.
Exactly.
Wow.
Man. Yep. That's so 3 separate times asked to pull over.
Did they misspell by all 3 times or just that once?
They fixed
No,
that.
only McCarty did that.
Okay.
McCarty was under a lot of pressure that day because he was never told. Nobody had ever talked about letting Glover buy that day because they probably thought I wasn't going to beat him that day or something. I don't really understand it. There was no talk about letting Glover buy though, none whatsoever. The AMA was saying we conspired, and I go, not prior to the last lap. There was no conspiracy. I can tell you that.
Yeah, no conversations whatsoever, right?
No, just when they told McCarty, they realized I was going to beat him. I was winning. And I had no reason to let him buy, and I didn't even think about it until he put that sign out, and I go, you're shitting me, right? It's the last lap, right? And so I did do it, but I don't even know if I really understood. I don't know if I really understood the points at the time he put that out, or I didn't care. I was just riding. I don't really know. I don't really remember, but I know what he wanted. They stuck it right in my face. Let him friggin' buy. I go, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
But he spelled Brock's name wrong and the buy.
Yeah, it's classic.
He
man.
spelled Brock with a K.
It's an iconic moment. You were at the forefront of so many iconic moments, man. A great career. It was a great career.
And after that, I mean, I love the fact that you're feeling good now, happy, rolling. I mean, for coming from
he's still wheeling and dealing with land, and he's kind of settling down with that.
Oh no, I have a lot of fun. I would always think about these guys. Okay, so now I've been gone basically since after '89. I helped Yamaha a little bit, but basically gone since '90, so 34 years. So a lot of people get mad at me because they say, "Oh, you're not up on it. You don't do much motorcycle stuff or whatever." But they got to understand, I rode up until I raced, so probably 10 years in the desert, and then I raced 15 years. Well, I've been 30 years doing business.
Yeah.
Twice as long as I race motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
I've been just doing business twice as long. So I only raced motorcycles 15 years. A lot of people think that's your whole life, but it isn't. And a lot of these guys that are thinking of retiring, like Tomac or whatever, I go, what? They ask me, what advice would you give Tomac? I'd say, quit. I would say quit. But they don't think like me. But you've made a lot of money. You're the greatest, ever. And man, life after motocross is great if you want to make it great.
Yeah.
I like business, and go buy a car dealership, Mac. Get the hell out of motorcycles before you hurt yourself any worse, and go have some fun. Making money and shit like that's fun. It's fun for me. It's a war, just like riding motorcycles. To me, the airplane business is a war. Even the land business to me is a game. And I love it. And the airplane business is certainly a war. I mean, we got dealers. I got a dealer right now that's giving us some shit. He sells the same airplane as we do, a new one. I told my partner, I go, we're going to burn that. We've burned about 20 of them down already. And I go, I'm going to burn that son of a bitch down. He keeps his attitude up. I go, I'll give these airplanes away and put him out of business. I go, it's a war, and it's kind of fun.
Full throttle. That's right.
That's why you're
the guy
successful.
Wants a war. He'll get a war. The one thing, we don't need the money, and he does. And if he wants to start screwing us and discounting stuff, I go, well, we'll have a war if that's what he wants, He don't want to screw
These
us.
guys have no idea.
So if you're looking for a
Bob
plane, Bob, how do folks get in touch with you if you're giving them things away?
You're not really
yeah,
giving
if we're giving them away, just call me up. I'll probably give you one.
Yeah, we
you
need a winner's take all plane
Yeah, there you go.
to get around in.
Dude, well, we covered
It's a cutthroat. Airplane business is kind of a cutthroat business. I think all business is. The land business is a cutthroat too. Everything's all business. Once you get money in, it's cutthroat. It is really.
Yeah, and the key is to try to
motorcycle
get
racing,
that.
everything.
Try not to be
The
the
more
cheapest
money in
guy.
business, the more cutthroat. I'm sure Donald Trump he's dealt with some real criminals because they have so much money in that big building business. That's got to be incredible cutthroat.
Oh yeah.
You know.
If a deal goes wrong, it really hurts.
We're dealing with 60 acres or 50 acres or 100 acres or, putting in houses in 60 acres or whatever. Donald Trump's building 60-story buildings.
Yeah,
that's got to be incredible.
A lot of money.
Speaking of business, I've got a flak jacket that the straps broke in. I need to talk to you about a warranty claim on that.
Good call. Glad we got you on the phone.
Yeah.
Warranty.
Some HRP products from '89.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, it's a flak jack.
Yeah, it's a clear flak jack.
Broken flak jack.
Yeah, from '89.
So can we call you or Larry or who do we
just send it back?
Probably call Myers.
All right. Yeah.
Straight to Myers.
So we'll get Larry
He's the
Myers on
customer
next.
service.
Hey, Larry. Bob
You'll
told
get
us
more
to call.
action out of him than you will me.
Oh, that's great, man.
Bob said you'd take care of this for us.
There you go. Good deal. Well, Bob, we're gonna get off the phone with you. We've held you a little bit longer than we even thought. We'll call you back in the morning, get the next 3 hours of this interview done, and we'll try to piece it all together.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you for the time.
No, sincerely,
Man,
we
you
appreciate
are
it.
an
Yes.
icon of the sport, and you will never not be relevant.
Yeah, and it tickles me to
What,
hear you be doing so well. Just being an icon.
Feeling
of my-
good, cycling,
Yeah, that I
hardcore
watched
business. It's
grow
awesome.
up and and hear you doing so great. That's awesome.
No, I can't gripe. I actually enjoying it.
Well, it's incredible. Not like I said, not everybody you went to high school with feels good like you do.
You guys tape this, or is it live, or you tape it?
No, we're taping it. Yeah, but it'll be on YouTube. It'll be on Spotify. Vurbmoto. It'll be through Vurbmoto.
Do you want a link to it? I can send it to you. I can have a carrier pigeon fly it over to you.
Yeah, you can do
Because
that.
he's not going
Yeah.
to text it to you. There's no way.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll text it to you so you don't have to talk to the KD80 guy from here on out.
Exactly.
If you get a text from a strange number,
There you go.
Yeah.
it'll just say
Man,
nine.
I'm so disappointed. in that.
It wasn't my
The
choice,
other
Bob.
brothers got KXs. It's like Kevin was the terrible offspring of King Kelly.
I think the man that you yelled at whenever he tried to help you pick your bike up. We talked about this
at
earlier.
the Six Flags National.
My dad came home after that race. It was hot as shit. He goes, "Man, fuck Bob Hanna." True story. He goes,
Did he really?
He did. He tried to help you pick your bike up after you got landed on. I think it was. I don't know if it was it Bowen or Storbeck or somebody. The triple step up to the left. He tried to pick it up. And he tried to help you out, and he started yelling at him. He just dropped your bike, and he walked away. So my dad was a lot like you. He'd be like, "Hell with that guy."
Yeah,
Now,
he
wait
was-
a minute. Where did not when Bowen jumped on me? Bowen didn't jump on me at Six Flags, did he? Or was it?
I believe it was. It was that you guys ran it.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that. I didn't remember that. I remember it's Georgia, but I guess it was Six Flags, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, your dad has to realize I got a busted wrist. I probably wasn't in a very good mood.
Well, my dad would be like,
Does
"That man."
really? He tried to help pick the bike
Yes.
up after Bowen landed on me.
Yes,
and then
came-
he threw it back
and then he
down.
said, he goes, more or less, "Fuck you," and he walked away. And honestly, I could see my dad doing that. He was so surly.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
You guys
no,
were a lot
I
alike.
don't remember.
Yep.
I don't remember that, but I wouldn't doubt it because I was pissed off at Bowen. I wanted to slug him, but I couldn't hit him with a bad wrist,
Hell
Right,
no, you
right.
couldn't.
No, I mean, I still liked you. I'm like, man, I still like Bob, Dad. Like, I don't know how we cross this path, but we're gonna have to figure this out. Me and you, I still like Bob Hanna. He's my favorite, one of my favorites. So, well, all right,
I
Bob.
hope your dad got over it later.
Well, one Coors Light into the evening, he was good to go.
He kind of forgot about
yeah,
it.
didn't take long.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I would have thanked him if I would have really known. If I'd have really known.
No, it's all good.
I
He-
don't remember that right there. Even thinking about it makes my wrist hurt.
You remember the busted wrist, though. You'll
Right.
never forget that.
Yep, my dad was the dude that helped you pick it up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't think you could really blame Bowen. I think you'll probably blame the guy in front of us or something. But
For sure.
Probably
shit
checking up.
happens, you know.
Yep.
poor Ricky Johnson had the same bullshit. I mean, he got his wrist broken, took him right out, basically.
100%.
Was it Storbeck?
Storbeck.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and they got
89
it,
maybe.
so.
Or
Down at Gatorback or something.
That's right.
Storbeck
Yep.
bars hit his wrist or something.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's not a safe sport, so
No, it's not.
if you think it is, you're riding the wrong thing, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
You got to. I tell everybody they break their leg or whatever, they go break. I go, don't worry about breaking. If you walk out of this sport, laugh. It doesn't matter if you won one race or 6 or 8 championships. Just you're good. You're good. You walked out. A lot of guys didn't walk out. You know? David Bailey didn't walk out. Anytime I'm a crybaby, I think of David Bailey, and I go, well, I've been out on my bicycle or something, or wanting to go out, and I go, it's too windy, it's too rainy, or whatever. And I think of Bailey, and I go, would Bailey go riding today? And I go, hell yes, he'd go riding today. I get my lazy ass on that bike, and I'm out, because I go, he'd ride twice today, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, he was a bad
so
dude.
you got to consider yourself damn lucky.
That's
if
right.
you just walk out of this sport, no matter what, because everybody takes the chances. I don't care if you're a mini bike racer, a mini bike rider, till you quit, you're taking the same chances. You know?
Yeah.
Intermediate novice guy probably taking a worse chance than me because he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know,
True
the
story.
professional guy, Tomac's not as much in much danger as the novice guy because
The novice
he knows what
guy.
the hell he's doing. You know,
The 250C
but it
class.
only takes one stupid crash. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
And all it is bad luck. It's no more than bad luck.
Mm.
Oh yeah. Well, the novice guy's worse because he's got 30 other novices around him.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Too much testosterone.
At least you had professionals around
Right.
you.
Yeah, you're in good hands. All right.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Well, some of them I had
Yes,
Howard around me.
Right. Exactly.
All right, Robert Hanna, we're going to send you your $5 in the mail, your show-up fee for being on our show, and we appreciate it. We will definitely we'll have you back on again.
We're going to start with 50 cents and then we're deferring.
Yeah, we'll
to it.
defer the 50 cents with 10% interest.
Yes.
All right.
Lessons
okay,
learned.
Nice talking to you, sugar balls.
There you
Thank
go.
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Say it, Nick.
Sugar balls.
No.
Sugar-
Well,
Say-
we're about to hang up. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not even
I was
gonna
throw it in.
ask where we're going with
well,
that.
he always says he loves our guests. And
Yeah.
He's getting off the phone every time he'll go, I love you.
So
Oh God.
here we go, Bob.
All right. I love you, Bob. We're going to move. We love
You don't have to say anything. The awkwardness is what we
I'm
live
not
for,
going to say anything.
as you shouldn't.
I'm not going to answer.
Hell no, you're not.
Bob, have a good evening. Talk to you soon.
See you. Bye.
See you.
Thank you, my
you.
friend.
See
Love
ya.
you. Bye.
He goes, I'm not saying anything.
He said, I'm not saying any fucking thing or something.
He did say
Awesome.
that. That was good shit.
Yeah, let me tell you. That was bad to the bone.
He'll never not be relevant.
Yes.
No,
Well, I mean,
he's just got a good take.
He was the first
Freaking-
crossover guy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the first crossover guy that people,
There's
And he was
tons
a
of novices who
cross-dresser.
say they raced him.
yeah,
Crossover, cross-dress.
yes.
He's the best. Nobody does that.
He
Nobody
raced
goes.
Trans USA,
The
Trans
Trans
AMA,
Am.
and
He was a
trans
tranny.
Vestite.
Yes. For a day.
for a
For a
day.
day,
But
for an
he
hour.
but dude, the fact that he even did that is too cool. Like, who goes, you know what? I'll dress up and we'll drive
that
down.
day
I'll get
and
on the
time-
hood of a car.
Oh,
What
the
other
hood of a
factory
car?
riders
before
did
a
that?
pro
Yes.
national. Come on, man. Nobody's doing that.
That's why he's a legend, man.
That's why he's got girls reverse cowgirl in him on the podium.
On
He
reverse
goes,
cowgirl to the face.
Are you 18? He goes, whoop.
Spencer.
Good to go then.
Yeah, you're
What?
good. I'm ready to
He was the
reverse
first
you.
person to coin the phrase spinner.
Yeah, spinner.
Literally.
She's a little spinner.
You're
That's very
17.
clever.
All righty then.
All right, I'll sit you
You're
down.
Yep.
You're
See you-
18. Okay, I'll spin
see you
you
next
around.
year.
Yeah, see you next year.
Robert Hanna, $5 show up fee.
Dude, that flyer's epic. $5
We'll
show
post
up
that.
fee for
I'll-
Bobby Encinas, Scott Brythop, Robert Hanna,
God dang that.
and
was funny.
Haystack Whitlock. Haystack
Who are
Whitlock
these
got his
people?
$5 back.
Haystack Whitlock.
Hell yeah, Haystack.
God.
Hey, Haystack took me out the first time. I'm like, that son of a bitch going
some
down.
bullshit.
There's no way somebody named Haystack
Haystack Whitlock.
was thin enough to be good at BMX.
Hell yeah, he was. Stuff
No,
on it. You know he was.
Haystack was hefty, son.
Stuff on things. You know he was.
Haystack was.
You don't think he was skinny?
No.
You think
Hay-
Haystack
oh,
was
Haystack.
fat as shit?
Yeah.
Haystack
Haystack.
sounds fat as hell to me.
Haystack.
Haystack was
He's
wearing
damn
Liberty-
linebacker.
Haystack looks like us on a YouTube
Yes,
video.
Haystack was wearing Liberty overalls.
You damn right.
with
Cooking
a
barbecue.
A piece
Yes.
of grass in his mouth.
By God, I put apple juice in my my pork tenderloins.
God dang right.
I take that pork tenderloin, I rub that thing out right there, boy. I
Yes.
spray it with apple juice. From a
Yes.
weed sprayer. He fills his damn weed sprayer with apple
What?
juice. Soaks his meat. He likes to soak his meat down real good before he cooks it.
Okay.
He said 4 hours in a smoker, then I rub her down, then
You know
I
what's
throw her
cool?
back in.
We just talked to Bob Hanna.
He didn't want to get off the phone. He was
That's
ready
cool.
to keep talking. He was kind of
Kevin-
getting winded.
Kevin blew it for us. He didn't want to get off the phone.
Yeah, he wanted to keep talking.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't even care. Bob
Dude,
Hanna,
I would go. Just trying not to ruin, wear out my welcome. But damn, I'd let him go.
I
We
would
could have
too.
slowed this thing down and like really took it slow. Like talked about 1980 Honda. We could have spent an hour on Honda.
I know.
All the teammates,
Yes.
and we barely we
I wanted to
touched
ask him
Honda
about
for
Magoo. He's
1
talking
second.
Talking about Bailey getting hurt.
Yes.
Magoo got hurt too.
Yeah.
And
Dude.
Magoo was crazy. Hannah sitting there
Yes.
saying I was crazy on
And
the
that
BMX
dude was
bike.
crazy.
And we didn't even get to talk about like his riding style.
Yes,
How much he had to baby a motorcycle back then because you know
He could destroy it
he could break it
at
in
will.
one lap. Whenever he wanted to break it, he could break it.
at will.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Correct.
Right now, I'll destroy this RM125.
Boom.
And that was the first year of the RM125. They were called TMs in 74. So in 75, when he's like, hey, they roll out 20 RMs at the track and you can ride one, that
Dude,
was the
I was
brand
trying
new
to just
bike.
pick my jaw when he was going. Yeah, I raced 12 times and then I won my first pro race. I'm like,
Now
what?
listen,
Like I know he
And
rode
a
in the desert.
championship
The-
a few weeks,
Come
a few
on,
months
man.
later.
Yeah,
That is
the
ridiculous.
calendar we went through is he rode his first race
July.
in 74.
Yes.
And then he won the championship in 76.
Yeah, and he's
Correct.
talking like
Correct.
mid 74, like
July of 74. He raced
So
12
that's-
times. Then he had to quit because he didn't have any money.
Yes.
Got a
So-
Husky.
That's like
In
That's
a
dumb as
year and
shit.
a half, he went from starting to the pinnacle.
to the championship
Yes.
against
Now,
Marty Smith and
Credit,
the Works
he did
Honda.
ride in the desert his whole life, him and his dad, but that's not the same.
It's not
as
Marty Smith
dropping
on a Works
gates
Honda.
and racing the boys.
That's like-
He goes, no, I did get beat by these two guys. I did beat these guys,
See, we
who I've
could've-
all heard of. I've heard of every guy
Yeah,
he beat.
exactly.
Yeah, he was beating every other pro except for those two guys.
It's so dumb.
And we could have talked to him forever about.
So what do you think about MTF? He goes,
What?
What the hell is MTF? Like
he thinks it's crazy that someone needs someone to tell you
Yes.
to work out, right?
I mean, a year and a half from first race to a championship.
We could have talked about that claiming rule because he would switch from the Works Yamaha
Yes.
back to a stock Yamaha in that 125 championship because they were fearful of somebody claiming the bike because they had so much money in it. And like he was running a water cooled head
Right.
back when bikes were air cooled and trying all these things. And they'd be like, put it up, man. There's a guy here that's going to claim it. His name was John Roeder, who eventually claimed, I think, Marty Tripes' Works bike. And it was a sad day. And Tripes' footlong, he tried to eat a footlong sandwich. But
Just make it
the
up.
oil and vinegar it didn't mesh that
And
day.
he went to Jersey Mike's. Mike was there himself. Jersey
This was back in the day when Mike made
would
the
actually make
sandwiches.
your sandwich. Jersey, I'm not happy with the sauces, bro.
Jersey. I'm a fan of the salted and cured meats. Can we really double down on those?
That was
Yeah,
Bob
right,
Hanna,
yeah.
man.
Chick-fil-A, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Stuff on it. You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on,
like you
man.
take that
Come
Chick-fil-A
on.
stuff
Some
on it and you
stuff
throw it on a sandwich.
some stuff and things, man. You get that stuff.
Stuff on things. Why
on
didn't we
things.
ask Hannah? You ever had a you ever met a dude that's like stuff on things, stuff on it?
Bob Hanna ain't got time for that guy.
Hell
If
no.
you're stuttering, whatever, like stuff on things, I'm out of here, bitch. Like I cannot do
Yeah.
whatever
He's
it is we're
walking
doing.
out.
He's on, man, that dude's wide open.
What about he just goes
Still
to
wide
Truett
open.
Kathy's
Wide
house
open.
and builds a motocross track?
Yeah, I trained at that at Chick-fil-A HQ. What?
What?
I've never heard that.
If we had a flow chart, there's
where-
no way
where he
we'd need a
went.
space-time continuum.
Dude.
You'd have to hit
Yeah, so
88
I was trained
miles an
over
hour.
at Chick-fil-A HQ, and that's where I really honed in my skills. And
Dan
what-
and Kathy used to fling Chick-fil-A patties at me.
If you really like, if you put
if you
up
can
a
dodge a
pin
Chick-fil-A
board,
patty, you know
if you put up a pin board and tried to trace,
how it all happened.
Is-
J&R expansion chambers through
Suzuki.
DG.
He worked for DG.
Like,
he got
yeah.
fired from Suzuki, got hired at Yamaha.
I'm sure that it does break the space-time continuum
It does
somewhere.
because it doesn't make sense. Like
Doc Brown.
all these kids that are born and raised at a training facility, they were conceived at a training
Yes.
facility, and then he was like, well, 12 races in, I knew I had it.
Me and
Like,
my dad
what?
would ride on Fridays, and I'd let him ride one of the Suzuki's.
Then I'd go race a CMC.
And then I'd
then-
race Saturday.
Then I'd find the big money race on Sunday, and there we go.
And he'd make way more than he made at this job.
Why are
and
you
they'd-
working here? Like what?
Not that we memorized the entire interview.
I
or
already
nothing,
did for sure.
But we
Oh my
did.
gosh.
Jesus, that guy is epic.
What an
son.
anomaly.
I'll
If he doesn't break his leg, all he did was win. from 76
through 84.
Well,
At
I mean, I'm
least.
saying he won a championship every year until he broke his leg.
I know.
Like,
but
how long does it?
would he
Yeah,
have-
right.
Yeah, he would have
And
just
he was
kept winning.
100 points up in 83.
God darn! After
So-
figuring it out and getting it dialed back
so
in
that
again.
means he would have won
Yeah,
81, 82.
Probably,
I think so.
yeah, if he was able to dig
They
out.
all. I remember motocross action specifically. He's the fastest guy here, as long as he's not hurt.
God Almighty!
He's the fastest guy here.
Damn you, Robert Hanna.
And how much fun was it, like when you saw Wide World of Sports or whatever, and you saw those, you got to watch the whole race, like one
Heck
of those
yeah,
races.
man!
I mean,
It's burned
when
into
he
your
was-
brain.
yes.
You can specifically remember your cheesy old TV set.
listen, I
having
can tell you,
motocross
and,
on it.
And I, Johnny O is an icon, and
I think he signed that gas tank and gave it to Bob Hanna
Hey!
on the podium. Like, you
1,
didn't
2,
win
3.
today.
but there was nobody in the United States watching that race that on Wide World of
I
Sports
might need-
2 years later
Yeah,
that was
Yeah.
not happy that Johnny O'Mara ran out of gas.
2-year tape delay.
Yeah, it's 2-year tape delay. But they
The
but-
Oh, I know. They
1984.
wanted Hannah to win.
Yes.
I remember watching it on TV on a Saturday.
Come on.
Tape delay, and I'm watching. I'm like,
I remember him
Hannah.
holding that freaking Honda gas tank, which would never happen today. He's a Suzuki rider, right? And now here you go. I think it was 86
Yes.
USGP.
Right.
He's holding a Honda product,
And a
Honda
17-year-old
logo.
on his face later. 10
Yeah,
minutes
and he's
later.
like, "Girl, I want to do this right
I
now,
can't
but
do
I
it."
can't. My lawyer says wait until next year."
Alabama, we'd be doing this now. If it's
I like-
Monster Mountain now, we could have
Yeah.
a little fun.
Oh,
But
I'd
no,
be
sir.
waxing that.
He had the wherewithal to check IDs.
That's pretty
Smart
smart.
man.
Yeah.
Now, ma'am, how old are you?
Please be 18. Please be 18. No.
I'm
dang it.
17. When's your birthday? Okay, this
I had to go
race-
to high school next Monday.
Yeah,
I'm a senior.
it's wild. He kept it PG.
Good man.
There's more to it.
Yeah.
Way more to it.
Oh, the next year when she turned 18, it was on like Donkey Kong. He had that 3-point waterbed stance.
Yes.
Yes, if
Like
he was
Kevin.
at PT Solutions, just shaking,
Yeah.
Crushing it.
just the muscles just fatigued.
That's
and
what they
shaking.
told Kevin. That's how Kevin knew when they put him in that therapy at PT Solutions, and they said, "This is the Hannah method."
Yes.
Yes.
Assume the 3-point stance, son. We need 3 points of contact when you're over the 90-year-old woman that weighs 3 times what you weigh on a waterbed.
That's right.
I mean, all them people washing out the front door. You're going
Weak
in next
sauce.
door to PT Solutions, and all these fat old people come washing out the
Stupid
front
dude.
door where Kevin has punctured another waterbed.
The waterbed destroyer.
WBD. You know what I'm saying?
All right, you guys good? You want to shut her down?
God, I don't know. I'm not going to bed tonight. I can
Me
tell you
either.
that.
I'm so excited about talking
Freaking Bob
about
Hanna. I'm
Hannah.
putting that helmet on. And
Hell
I'm going to
yeah.
try the 3-point
No.
stance
Yes.
tonight.
Naked, baby.
Yes.
Head up there, take your clothes. We'll get out of here. Let
I'll
you.
probably eat one of them there Tarcos. I throw on that helmet, and I'll be like, "You ever heard of Robert
What
Hanna?"
helmet you got on? The one that matters, honey.
Robert
I'll be like,
J.
"Hand me that
Hanna.
$5 show up fee, baby."
This yellow helmet's not the one you need to be worried about.
And we're done.
That's another one of Nick's. Hold up. The other one. Okay, the yellow helmet ain't the one you got to be worried about. The other one is the less you know about your grandmother's pearl necklace, the better off you'll be. He said that a year ago.
We're
at
done.
least.